hours before being spotted by authorities. This based on mobile phone records. The last known address for 58-year-old Ryan Ruth was in Hawaii.
How does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the president, former president of the United States, is golfing, and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity?
Will Snyder is the sheriff of neighboring Martin County, where Ruth was caught yesterday. Ruth, who's held on 2 gun charges for now, spent most of his life in North Carolina, where he has previous felony convictions for possessing a weapon of mass death and destruction and possession of stolen goods.
That's what they used for the probable cause, so they could keep him in custody today to charge him with possessing a gun as a felon and obliterating a serial number as a felon.
Fox's David Spont. Ukrainian officials say they had nothing to do with the suspect. Ruth had tried to get people to go fight in Ukraine.
He was interviewed by Newsweek about the conflict and traveled personally to Ukraine after the Russian invasion. He told the New York Times last year he was trying to get Afghan fighters to go help in Ukraine. An officer with the Foreigners Coordination Department of the Land Forces Command in Ukraine said they got Ruth's emails, but they thought he was delusional and ignored them. A Kremlin spokesman said playing with fire has consequences. The head of Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation said in response, the enemy always tries to launch conspiracy theories about the so-called Ukrainian trace, and of course he said it's all lies.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Trump just posting that Democrat rhetoric has taken politics to a whole new level of hatred. Vice President Harris says violence has no place in America. America is listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Quiet and warm as we go through the week ahead. Partly to mostly sunny skies on this Monday afternoon. I'll keep a chance of a spot shower, 88. Tonight, mostly clear skies. A drop through the 80s for evening plans, 66 for the low. Tuesday, quiet. Plenty of sunshine, 88. Tuesday night, clear, 62. Wednesday and Thursday, sunny and 88. Full moon of September coming up Tuesday night, the harvest moon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Are
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy Monday. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad you're here. Another crazy, crazy news weekend. And yes, another attempt on Donald Trump's life. You kind of have to wonder how many of these that we're going to have to see happen before maybe President Trump gets the security he needs. This is the only question you have to ask yourself. The security he needs so that his life is secure. What question is there around that? Now, I remember, and I think it's very important to think back on the times that we have seen even members of Congress calling for President Trump to lose his Secret Service protection because they got that convicted felon name for them, which we find out in the legal system he's not a convicted felon until he's actually sentenced, which he hasn't been, has been postponed to the other side of the election. So he is not technically a convicted felon. It depends on what channel you watch. But if you were watching certain channels, that would be fact checked. If you're watching others, of course, it wouldn't be. People had called for him to lose his Secret Service protection after he was found guilty in the Alvin Bragg sham trial in Manhattan. This is the world that we live in right now. We hear people after yesterday's shooting attempt reacting to what happened and doing it a little bit like ABC. This is going to come as a shock to you, ABC fans. And John Carl says this while he is covering in the wake of this attempt.
I also spoke just recently, Lindsay, with a former member of the president's Secret Service detail, former president's detail, when he was in the White House, who described how difficult it is to secure the area when he is playing golf, particularly at that golf course, the golf course that he usually plays when he is at Mar-a-Lago. This former agent told me that if the Secret Service had not spotted the muzzle of that gun sticking through the fence, that he would have had potentially an unfettered shot of less than 100 yards away, and that this very well could have been a successful assassination.
Wow. All right, Jonathan Karl, our thanks to you. Now to the race for the White House. Ohio's Republican governor is calling for an end to debunk claims that Haitian immigrants in the town of Springfield are eating pets belonging to residents. But Senator J.D. Vance and the Trump campaign are doubling down on those claims. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Tonight, growing fear in Springfield, Ohio. A small university, they're canceling all events today after an email targeting Haitians in the community threatened a potential shooting on campus, the school says. The FBI now investigating.
So there you have this ABC report, and you listen to John Carl and the way he's talking about this incident, and you got to ask yourself, at the end of every crisis that happens, if the never let a good crisis go to waste moniker is still in place for the Democrat Party. MSNBC and Alex
Do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay, any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
The unity in this unity moment, Donald Trump's life has had 2 attempts on it. And Donald Trump is to blame? Folks, this is not any different than the abhorrent reaction to somebody who's been raped saying she asked for it. It's the same thing. It's disgusting then. It's disgusting now. These news people who have the stones to go on air and say, you know what, maybe if the Trump campaign and Donald Trump himself would have calmed down the rhetoric post-RNC convention, this wouldn't be happening. That's like saying maybe if her skirt wasn't too short, it wouldn't have happened to her. It's the same thing. I don't have a doubt in my mind that these people want him dead. That is a terrifying existence to live in. That the opposition to Donald Trump, and listen, those people on MSNBC and ABC, they're not the ones holding the weapon and pointing it at Donald Trump, but they are excusing the action because they're saying that Donald Trump asked for it. They're saying that Donald Trump's behavior led to it. If you've got a female who goes into a bar and she's not wearing a whole lot of clothes and she has too much to drink and she doesn't really remember what happened and somebody takes advantage of her in that situation, is it her fault or not? No person ever has the circumstances where they put themselves into a position where they deserve what happened to them. Nobody deserves to be mistreated that way. Nobody deserves to be at the end of a rifle that's pointed at them out of hatred and disgust. Nobody deserves that. Full stop. This is not a complicated question. This isn't a difficult situation to rationalize in a complicated, vitriolic campaign season. This is the easy one. Donald Trump's life is valuable and worthy of protection simply because he is human. And when you listen to the media reaction with the exact same moniker of he asked for it, you got to start asking yourselves a lot of questions about the not so free press that we have in this country, because it really feels like they're bought and paid for, completely all in on the idea that we only allow one party to have power and we do everything we can in the process to make sure that it stays that way. I mean, in the sense of they need him dead. That makes me feel that he's doing a lot better than the polls even suggest, because if he were going to lose the election, Let's say he had the numbers and the polling internally and what we've seen outside of those, or the external polls, the ones that become public fodder for newsers like me and the people you see on television. Let's just say for a second that the roles were reversed. Would they be so aggressive to try to take him out of the race in any means possible at this point? They tried to do it through the legal system. They're still trying to do it for the legal system, and it is amazing how much the runway is being cleared for Donald Trump to still win this election among every single obstacle that they're throwing in front of him. I mean, it's like an Austin Powers skit where you got to get Austin Powers from point A to point B, and all of the different things that they're starting to put in front of him, the things they're willing to attempt to try to keep him from becoming the president of the United States are ludicrous. But they're not going to stop. We are very close to this election. We are 50 days from the election. Voting is open in states across this country in certain places. I don't know what Donald Trump does. I don't know what Melania and Barron and Eric and Don Jr. and Ivanka and the rest of their family. I don't know what they do for the next 50 days while this election is going on. And I don't know what happens to him should he win the election. How is he safe? How is it not explicitly clear from everybody who has access to a microphone or a camera? And guess what? That's literally anybody who has a phone. How are people not calling for this violence to stop without exception, excuse, caveat, fine print? Make it stop. This man's life is to be protected. How is this confusing? How much do you hate somebody? I mean, think about this. Look inward today and ask yourself, if you're the person out there who hates Donald Trump and you want nothing more than to see him go down in November at the ballot box, do you separate that from the cognitive processing of the benefit that would come should his life be ended? Look at where we are as a society. Shame on all of us for getting to this point. This is not the hard question to answer. This is not a hard thing to come out and say. It would not be difficult at all for me to come onto this show and say the exact same thing about Kamala Harris if she were now facing 2 attempts on her life because people don't want her to find herself in the presidency. That's an easy one. God forbid that anybody have to live the understanding that their life is being threatened every minute that they are alive. And then to turn on the television and see these reprobates pushing out this idea that essentially, let me just quote it this way, it's like, well, that's the mentality that they have. I don't care if you're going to vote for him. I don't care if you're not going to vote for him. If we're not shaking our fists at the sky, that this is the reality that we live in, we have gotten it completely wrong. Donald Trump's life is valuable and is to be protected. Period. Full stop. Nothing more to add. Is it so hard to disagree with that or to agree with that, to know how to react to that? It's probably one of the most unifying opportunities that we have in this election cycle, that everybody of every political stripe should be making that statement boldly to everybody who follows them, to every influence and influential corner that they have right now. In politics, in life, in society, in culture, to say Donald Trump's life is valuable and is worthy of full protection. Can you say that? If you can, maybe we should together. We're going to speak with Robert Law. He is the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at the America First Policy Institute. We're going to talk to him about what is happening right now in the Secret Service protection of Donald Trump I mean, if we've had 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life, how many have they thwarted? Have they thwarted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, and these are the 2 that crept through? And if you're in the Secret Service, is that too many? I sure as heck hope so. We'll get an expert on here when we come back. And the YouTube poll for today, which I would love for you to weigh in on. I'm just curious where our audience is on this, and I don't really know where I am on this. I just have a lot of questions and very few places to seem to get reliable answers. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? Yes or no? Annie Fry YouTube channel in the live chat portion of today's live broadcast. Rob Law on the Annie Fry Show when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I want to talk to you about Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. That's where I shop for vehicles. The last 2 vehicles we have purchased are from there. We've also purchased one a while back from there. I've bought new from them. I've bought used from them. I trust them wholeheartedly, completely with my vehicle purchase. First and foremost, to give me a great vehicle. Secondly, to give me a great value. And thirdly, to help me care for that vehicle. From the radio systems to the engines to the tires to the oil changes, the whole thing, having somebody who you can turn your car over and know and trust that you are getting the best of service. You get that at Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Wagoneer as well. When others can't, Cassens can. That's why they say CassensCan.com. And right now in September, 0% financing available on most new Jeeps. If you've been interested in a Jeep, we've got a Jeep Grand Cherokee from Cassens, and we love it. And if you're interested in getting a Jeep of some kind, go to Cassens and make sure you talk to them before you make a purchase somewhere else. Just give them the opportunity to compete. You'll be glad you did. 618-800-2712. 618-800-2712. 0% financing available on most new Jeeps. Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer. CassensCan.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how this coming election can affect the stock market and your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you can receive and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year. Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, October 1st at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hi, Charles Pan here at one of the exciting Money Show events where I'm presenting the keynote, broadcasting my live TV show, and best of all, giving away free copies of my newest book, Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 value, but if you act now, I'll give you one too.
For your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505. Text CASH to 505-505.
I'm handing you my investing playbook, 348 pages on how I personally invest to target the biggest returns while mitigating risk. It's how I've been with the market so I never break. Guidance so crucial for today's investors that I'm covering the cost of the book and giving you a copy for free.
To get your free copy of Charles Payne's new book, Unbreakable Investor, text the word CASH to 505-505 and just cover shipping. Text CASH to 505-505 while supplies last. Text CASH to 505-505 right now.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Thank God the president's okay. I think we got a full report so far. We're down there tonight. But one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they, in fact, need more services. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Are you concerned more money or they need more personnel? They need more money? What kind of help do you say?
I think we need some more personnel. I think they're deciding whether they need more personnel or not.
Are you concerned more
So, the president of the United States speaking next to a helicopter on an attempt on Donald Trump's life #2. Maybe could have done that one from the Resolute desk and say, knock it off. And he's talking about, maybe the Secret Service may need more help. He's creating jobs. This is the political spin that's going to come out of this one. I'm just a little bit irate over this weekend, the way a lot of the media have handled this, trying to victim blame the man whose life is on the other end of a rifle for the second time in this election season. I think we should be taking this a little more seriously. Our YouTube live chat poll is, do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? I've gotten a lot of messages about this. I don't know if they are. I don't know what the problem is, but it's amazing that this has been able to happen 2 times in the last few months. We want to get an expert opinion on this, so we bring Robert Law onto the show. We're grateful to have him, the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute. He's also the former chief of policy at U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security for the Trump administration. Mr. Law, thank you for being here with us today. It's great to have you on to talk about this second terrible incident that our country is experiencing.
Well, thanks for having me. And you're right. It's unbelievable that we're even talking about a second attempt here. It's such short order after the first attempt on President Trump's life.
I want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Secret Service. I mean, by definition, the Secret Service, we don't know a lot about them. We just kind of think that they're BA, that they keep the most powerful people in the country safe. We don't get to know about their methods because if we know about them, everybody knows about them. But it doesn't seem like we should be able to have 2 incidences like this within this amount of time, and everything feels like it's on the up and up. What do you want the American people to know about the protection being offered to Donald Trump right now?
Well, I think without stating the obvious, that the current protection level for President Trump is insufficient. And that's the whole thing about Donald Trump, is he is a unique individual in our political history. And for him to be not only a former president, but the current nominee of the out of power party warrants special treatment. And he has not received it for this entire time since he left office. And it has created, these vulnerabilities and gaps. And frankly, it's unacceptable. This should not be surprising that someone like Donald Trump, who is still in the public eye, who thrives in an environment of crowds and being with the American people, that those are difficult circumstances to secure. But knowing that, you need to put forward the resources in order to ensure his safety. And that has failed to happen time and time again.
We're speaking with Rob Law right now with the America First Policy Institute. I have way more questions than I have answers. One of the things that is really causing me to ask a lot of questions, and I'm just going to read this report from Fox News. Suspect Ryan Wesley Routh came out on Trump International Golf Course, West Palm Beach, for nearly 12 hours. He was camped out there in his alleged attempt to assassinate Trump. According to his phone records, the charging document released by the federal authorities said that it details much of the police action taken after he fled the scene. A witness said they saw him run out of a tree line and into a black Nissan. But they noticed that the records indicate that his mobile phone was located in the vicinity of the area along the tree line from approximately 1:59 a.m. that morning before until 1:31 when they started to pursue him. How would he possibly know to be out there in that location when it wasn't really public knowledge that the president would be golfing there that day?
Well, that's certainly a question that we need answers to, and there needs to be a serious investigation, and there certainly needs to be more transparency this time around, because we still have no answers or clarity about all of the failures that led to the first assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. But this, again, goes to the perimeter level of protection that is being afforded President Trump right now. That golf course would have been included in a perimeter of being locked down well in advance of his golf outing if he was treated as the president of the United States. And so because they are refusing to expand that and just treating him like any former official who gets Secret Service protection, you created what should have been an obvious vulnerability. That is clearly a spot that a would-be assassin could take advantage of. And apparently the terrain is such that, he could remain unidentified for half a day, essentially. Again, this goes to you have your standards, and then you've got to recognize the reality. And sometimes you're starting to wonder, is this a politically driven decision by the Biden-Harris administration's DHS to not honor requests from the Trump team? What is going on here? Because this should have been covered. He should have been identified, within minutes of crossing into that golf course property. But people aren't looking in the places that they should be.
Yeah, it's disturbing because we have, as Americans, probably completely based in ignorance, this feeling that we're safe, that we're secure, that, of course we have the best military in the world and we know what we're doing and we can stop things. I just have in my mind this idea that the technology and the skill set that our people have, the knowledge, the intelligence that we have is so far advanced from what I could ever know or, see in a movie or anything like that, that we have all of these things in place. And then something like this happens twice. I remember what it was like on September 11th. I was 17 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, like, how is this even possible? And now we know that we have an influx of people who have come to the United States. They've been let into the country. The world is on fire right now. We know that Iran wants Donald Trump dead. Like, I don't even know which way to point first to think about what threat is biggest facing our leaders, our potential leaders, and even myself and my 4 kids.
Well, you're right. It certainly is a dire moment, but I think you can't discount placing some degree of blame on the Biden-Harris administration. If you think of the rhetoric that they have used towards Donald Trump and calling him a threat to democracy, and how they've weaponized government to go after him with all these lawsuits and everything else. I mean, they've basically vilified the man. And of course, that's going to inspire the outrage of folks who, or maybe they're a little deranged or they've got bad intentions. And I think that's exactly what has occurred with both of these assassination attempts, is you have a media apparatus and the current political regime who despises Donald Trump. And so they should take some accountability on this. They're the ones that should be toning down the rhetoric, not asking the Trump campaign to adjust itself in how it's making its case to the American people. And I would just say that overall, the Secret Service are some of the best, most elite service members that we do have. Unfortunately, it seems that their training and guidance have gone completely downhill in recent years. And that, I think, corresponds with a push by the Biden-Harris administration to prioritize DEI stuff instead of merit and skills, and most importantly, accountability when you drop the ball.
Rob Law speaking with us right now, the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute. I've kind of been, unfortunately, having to learn a little bit more about the structure of the Secret Service and who it works under, and some of the structure, the systematic ways that the Secret Service is implemented in our country. I hear this all of the time, and I'm wondering if you can comment to this from people listening right now. They're commenting on our conversation, and they're saying Donald Trump needs to hire his own private security. And, is that a possibility? Can private security work in conjunction with Secret Service, which is supposed to be the tops of all security that is out there? I mean, is that a realistic suggestion or possibility for Donald Trump?
I mean, it's certainly interesting to consider. What my concern would be is that then you sort of start having, cross-wired communications, because every time the president goes somewhere, it's not only the Secret Service detail, but there is coordination, or supposed to be coordination, with state and local law enforcement. And we already saw failures in that respect in Pennsylvania. And so I think you would kind of run into maybe some logistical complications if you were to then insert a third element of protection. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, I think the safest thing, and what should be the obvious thing and should have already happened, is that President Trump deserves to be treated like he is the president of the United States when it comes to his Secret Service protection. So that is an increase in personnel. That is an increase in the security perimeter for anything that he does. And that includes locking down places well in advance of his arrival, whether or not these are announced visits or those kind of famous spur of the moment ones that he's known for doing as well. And if they treated him accordingly, this will certainly never happen again. I'm pretty confident about that.
Rob, one last question for you, and you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but a little thought experiment. If in 2020, Joe Biden would have had multiple attempts on his life, and Donald Trump was the president of the United States, and this would have been something that would have been flipped over to the other side. The threat would have been on the left, and the person who wasn't in power, who was trying to get back into, as the former vice president, to get into the Oval Office. How do you think that our country would have reacted? How do you think that our media would have reacted in the event that Donald Trump was the president and the current Secret Service had let two attempts on the opponent's life happen the way they have?
Oh, no doubt about it. There would be absolute outrage, and there would be all sorts of media coverage about, there'd be a clock running of, it's been X number of minutes, since that failed assassination attempt. And yet, President Trump hasn't authorized additional Secret Service protection, hasn't done this. That's what the story would be. That's what the narrative would be. And yet it seems that the Biden-Harris administration and DHS Secretary Mayorkas seem to be absolved from any form of responsibility, even though they're the ones that are in charge. They have all of the authority they need to give President Trump the protection that he clearly needs. And don't forget, they also denied RFK his Secret Service detail for the longest time. That was pretty much an anomaly in American modern politics, to deny Secret Service protection to a serious presidential candidate. And so when you start politicizing something like the Secret Service, you really expose very important people like President Trump to a would-be assassin attempt.
Rob Law, thank you for your time today. I mean, our question to our audience today is, do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? I certainly don't want to believe that. But I guess everything is on the table. I don't know if you want to respond to that or not, but we are grateful that you came here with us today.
Well, thanks for having me. Like I said, we just need a lot of transparency, and we certainly cannot have this happen again. There's a way to ensure that doesn't happen, and it's just a matter of time if the Biden-Harris administration will honor that and treat President Trump with the safety that he deserves.
Yeah, I completely agree. Rob Law, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. He's the director of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration at America First Policy Institute. He was also the former chief of policy at the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security under the Trump administration. Interesting to get his perspective there. We're going to keep you updated throughout the day. There's going to be a lot of news reports and conferences that take place in various measures for various, like you've got local police, you've got the FBI, you've got the Secret Service, you've got federal, you've got state, and Ron DeSantis, who says he's going to run his own investigation on all of this. And to Rob Law's point there, we need information. We need willful, open, and honest transparency. Will we get it? The less we do, the more my eyebrow gets raised. How about yours? YouTube live chat poll for today. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? Yes or no? Go vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave us your comments as to why you are a yes or a no. Let's see here. Katie said yes, just like the last attempt. No denying now. Larry says yes. At the top it is. Bob says, I voted yes. I think they are compromised in their vetting and training of agents. Erica says, I don't think the Secret Service is compromised. They are not giving Trump adequate protection and are providing him with the C or D team. Plus, there is a bumper crop of crazies out there. That, Erica, that last point, spot on. And every comment that comes out and is pushing for Donald Trump to be stopped at all costs, boy, does that stir up the crazies. Great point, Erica. Wiggins America. We come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
TheDiamondShop.net. You can go visit them online right now to learn pretty much what I'm going to tell you about them right now. But let me just highlight a few really key important things. Like, for instance, the annual clearance sale happening at the Diamond Shop in Clayton, Missouri. Up to 70% off items at the Diamond Shop through September 21st. So you need to kind of hustle on over there. It's the 16th. You got a few days. But go there and check out the beautiful pieces that they have marked for clearance and, get yourself something nice. Maybe do a little Christmas shopping. Folks, it's 100 days to Christmas. Countdown begins today. They also have 25% off all of their watches, even the Movado watches that are there. And a reminder that if you sign up online to become a VIP at the Diamond Shop, you will get access to extra savings on various items all the time. So 10% off for VIP for various things in the Diamond Shop right now. You just go to the homepage, scroll to the bottom, fill it out. You're VIP. They're in Clayton, Missouri, but they're online at thediamondshop.net.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton, free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands, and also receive $10,000 cash to close from the skilled craftsmen of the Mid-America Carpenters Union for closing costs or bite on your interest rate. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Well, I am sifting through your answers to this question already. Lots of them and lots of opinions on it. We'd like to hear from you. The YouTube live chat poll of the day. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? A lot of ways you could approach that question. We'd like to hear from you. Yes or no are your possible answers for that poll, though. You find it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. 12:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is happening now. Tune in to the Annie Fry Show live stream. Vote and be a part of the conversation by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Subscribe and leave a comment. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us here today. We are watching as news will potentially come throughout the course of the day on the second attempt on Donald Trump's life while he was golfing at his golf course this weekend. When news happens, we'll have it for you. Somebody said there was a press conference coming up?
Yeah, Fox is running the chyron saying that the Secret Service is supposed to speak soon. They didn't give me a time or anything like that.
Is that different than the 4 p.m. Eastern one?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay. Well, let's check in on details on that so we know what we will come in with. If there is a press conference, we will cover it for you here. I know that there's one scheduled that they've been talking about throughout the morning that's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, which will be 3 p.m., so that'll be on the Reardon Show, but we'll get back to you on that. It's Ryan Wiggins' birthday, and he's in there. So we're kind of we're like moderately celebrating it.
Yeah, I would say you guys are celebrating it just fine. Appreciate all the presents, and you mentioning it just now. You know, I feel like the attention is...
Wiggins! And back to the show. Go ahead. It's your segment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I was just going to ramble there until Brad hit that.
Are you wearing a Colorado Rockies hat?
I went to Coors Field. Yeah, so I had to get something. And I got the one that's not the CR logo, so it's a little harder to spot, but it does say Colorado Rockies on the back. But I like the hat. And, of course, Annie, it was on sale. Official team store, though. Walking around downtown Denver.
Why are you wearing a Rockies hat?
Well, because the Cardinals suck.
Have you seen the Rockies?
Yes, I did. They beat the Cubs, though, so I was a fan for one night.
Have you seen the Cubs?
Well, I always don't like the Cubs, though. I don't care about the Rockies. Okay. You typing in their record, seeing?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you want to come over here and watch what I'm doing instead of doing your segment?
I kind of do. So the news from this weekend, I do have a little bit of travel news just because it was pertinent to me. But the big one
it's your birthday, you can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want. This is other Trump news, so a little less important than the stuff we've been talking about today. Donald Trump has begun selling spoof versions of Taylor Swift's tour T-shirts. And after she endorsed Kamala Harris, the former president's official store launched the Trump-era white T-shirt, a mimic of the merchandise for Swift's Eras tour. Here's the thing, though. The shirt, $36. Good price, bad price? Does it price you out? Do you think that's pretty normal now? $36 for a T-shirt.
That's the question?
That's my question for you.
I don't want the T-shirt. So
you don't
it's
want
too
it?
much money.
Yeah. See, I kind of do want it.
If it were free, I would have wrapped it up and given it to you for your birthday.
Well, I appreciate that. But $36, that's right on the line for me for a T-shirt.
For a Trump T-shirt?
For any T-shirt. any T-shirt. Like I'll go just like this. I got this merchandise, and it was only
but
$24.
But you bought that hat because of the price?
Kinda, yeah. The other guys that I was with, if you bought enough merch, it was all like a discounted price.
There was nothing else in Colorado that you wanted?
I did get a Coors shirt also. But all these things are kind of like in conflict with St. Louis things. So I felt a little weird about doing it, but I was there.
But not that weird.
Not weird enough to not do it.
I would pay $36 for a T-shirt I wanted.
But you don't want this one.
What is it?
It's an Eras shirt. It looks like Taylor Swift, but it's got different versions of Trump on it.
Donald Trump needs to stop talking about Taylor Swift.
I agree. I do like the shirt, though.
I would pay him $36 to stop talking about Taylor Swift.
You think he'd take it?
Oh, he'd take it. He wouldn't stop talking about Taylor Swift, though.
Yeah, that's true. All right, some travel-related news. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, says conflicts with unruly passengers are down 80% since their peak during the pandemic.
Is this like the crime stats where they just stop calling physical violence like conflict?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, they don't tell you exactly
what
it means.
Constitutes conflict?
Right. Yeah, because have you ever seen conflict on a plane? Like, have you seen either an all-out fight or some sort of fight? Have you? Does that count?
My kids are good flyers.
I think if the stewardesses have to get involved.
Not a stewardess.
What are they called now?
I don't know. Sexist pig.
Stewards. If the stewards have to get involved.
Flight attendant.
Flight attendants.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with it. There it was.
I'm not offended by it.
I'm sure you're not, but have you ever seen an incident involving a flight attendant?
Not like one that you're going to see materialize on the internet. I did fly with the furries, though. That's a real story.
That's a different story. That's not an incident. I don't think that one would get covered.
I suspect that somebody needed to be relocated due to it. But I was in the front of the plane, and they were in the back of the plane. And the people who came in and sat behind us, there was an open seat. And what I overheard was implied that somebody had asked to be relocated.
Because the suit was so big?
I overheard and inferred a lot, so I don't have anything more to report. Also, when I get on the plane, the best thing for me is to put my headphones on and listen to any kind of noise. Just get in my zone. It's very close quarters to be with that many strangers at one time.
Are you a nervous flyer?
No. Well, I mean, maybe comparatively speaking, but when you're in a crowded place, like I'm somebody who, by nature, if I see conflict or something, I'm compelled to try to help calm that conflict down or to keep my eyes open so that I know what's going on and what happens. And there's such little that you can do in an airplane that I need to get myself out of it. Not my problem.
You're removing yourself basically from the environment as much as possible.
From the compulsion to like get involved.
Okay.
Because I got no business being involved. Just, Annie, mind your own business, which is what I try to do.
The only incident I've ever seen was right during the pandemic. It was 2021. The guy sitting next to me was apparently a very common flyer. Business guy, flew all over the place. He was just not wearing his mask, and he was eating things about as slowly as you can.
Because you could pull your mask down to eat them.
Yes, exactly. And I thought, he's not doing anything
People
wrong.
flying with the Cheez-It just suspended in front of their
Just
mouth.
holding it like a cigar.
I'm eating it a little at a time.
But he did this, and he flew enough that he was on some sort of unofficial list. And they were watching this guy. I could see them watching this guy the whole time. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
What a nutso time to be alive.
Yes.
Never forget.
It made me so mad at the flight attendants because there were no problems. They created a problem.
Did you cause a conflict?
I didn't do anything. That guy did. And I was kind of like doing the same thing as him, just in solidarity, just because I'm like, look, if you're going to get this guy, I'm doing the same thing. But he was already on their watch list. Anyway. Flight attendant reveals her life-changing hotel hack. And I got to tell you ahead of time, it's not life-changing, but it is a pretty good hack. Flight attendants stay in so many hotels that it can be hard to remember which accommodation is which. So what this one is saying, that the New York Post picked up and made into a story, is that when you check into your room, when you walk out of your room, how many times has this happened to you? That you have no idea where you're going. you have to kind of refigure out where you are.
Like, do I go left or right?
Which way is the pool? Which way is the elevator? Usually the elevator. How do I get out of this building?
When we go on family vacations, I learn all those things. If I go on a trip with my husband, he learns them, and I willfully have no clue, and I love it. I just follow him.
That's the husband's job, isn't it, Brad?
Not on family vacations.
Well, I do the same thing.
He's usually in charge of other important things, and it's just you got to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
But I just let him. I go where he goes.
So if you are staying in as many hotels as a flight attendant, this is a good tip. I really thought, wow, that's pretty smart. Anytime she takes off her shoes when she walks into the room, takes off her shoes, she points her shoes in the direction of the elevator.
This is going to save people so much time.
I mean, it's a good idea. I know you're making fun of it, but I'm like, wait a minute, because I always walk out and I go, wait a minute, which direction am I going? Which way am I facing here? But if you have the shoes pointed in the direction you're supposed to walk out, it's going to save you at least a couple seconds. Huge life-saving, life-changing hotel hack.
Where did you get this information
New York
from?
Post. New York Post.
Is it one of multiple things in the article?
No, that's it.
The whole article is about putting your shoes in
and it's 4 pages long.
Man, it's like there's no news happening.
Yeah, I know, but I like that one enough that I'm like, deserves some airtime. All right.
If you travel a lot, that hits home way more than if you go on like 3 trips a year.
I go on 3 trips a year, and I'm still like, hey, that's so smart. All right, dust off the telescopes, because this week, it doesn't seem like we're having a lot of like heavenly signs going on. Tuesday's full moon, tomorrow night, full moon. It'll happen at the same time as a partial lunar eclipse, creating a supermoon that will be eclipsed. So the spectacle will be visible from, yes, here and South America, Africa, and Europe. So pretty much the majority of the Earth outside of Asia. Tomorrow night.
An eclipse?
Full moon, supermoon, will also have an eclipse. So it's a lunar eclipse where the Earth is casting its shadow on the moon. But it will be very, very obvious that it's happening because the moon's going to be so big tomorrow night.
Is it going to be clear? It's not going to be big if...
That's a good question.
Checking.
I have to check the weather to see if we'll actually see it from here. But so much of the Earth will be able to see this.
So this
that
is
I thought it would be worth
Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Now exactly what time it'll cross, I don't know. It just says tomorrow night. So keep your eye out if
I'm
you can
looking
see
right
it.
now on my app, and it says from 12 a.m. to sunrise at 6:45 a.m.
Okay.
Fully clear, 0% chance of rain.
Okay. All right. 0% chance of rain means keep your eye on the skies. Tomorrow night, you're going to see, apparently, a pretty easy to spot eclipse. And that is my birthday roundup. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed yourself, and leave your shoes facing the elevator.
I'd be so switching my husband's shoes. Joe Concha in the next hour. Don't go away.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Are you a business owner looking to grow and succeed? The St. Charles Regional Chamber is here to help. I'm Scott Tate, President and CEO. As the region's largest chamber with nearly 1,200 members, we offer networking, marketing resources, educational programs, and more to support your business. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or starting out, we have the right membership option for you. Explore our investor levels for exclusive benefits or try our free basic membership. For more information, visit stcharlesregionalchamber.com.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house
and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com. At Hampton Manor of Wentzville, they go the extra step to make sure their residents feel special. Mark Cox here for my friends at Hampton Manor. I recently stopped by there. You know, their veterans are celebrated with special recognitions, including special pastries created by their pastry chef. They have their own private chef. They'll even feed you lunch if you stop by for a visit at this great senior living community off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your appointment today at WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
He believed their rhetoric. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That is former President Trump's take on a second assassination attempt, blaming what he calls lies about him. President Biden moments ago saying what he said after the first Trump assassination attempt in Pennsylvania, that there's no place for political violence in America.
I've always condemned political violence. I always will in America. In America, we resolve our differences peacefully at the ballot box, not at the end of a gun.
He's at an event with historically black colleges and universities. The president also commending the Secret Service after earlier suggesting they may need more personnel. The suspect arrested on a Florida highway after a gun was spotted between bushes while Trump was golfing with friends yesterday, had a first court appearance earlier today.
Ryan Ruth was inside that federal courtroom, and he smiled as he walked in, shackled with his hands and feet. We also know that he was speaking with his court-appointed attorney, and we saw him laughing multiple times.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol, the 58-year-old Ruth, is held on 2 gun charges for now, based on a felony record from North Carolina. The Texas governor is targeting a violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, telling his Department of Public Safety to go after them in Texas.
I am officially declaring TDA a foreign terrorist organization. We will bring the full weight of the government against the TDA.
Governor Greg Abbott says about 100 crimes across the country are linked to the gang, blaming current border policies. In July, the Biden administration designated TDA as a significant transnational criminal organization, announcing steps aimed at stopping the spread. Evacuations in the Houston suburb of LaPorte, where a pipeline has exploded, shooting a plume of fire into the air and setting grass and power poles on fire, knocking out service to several thousand customers. There's no word yet on a cause. America is listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Quiet and warm as we go through the week ahead. Partly to mostly sunny skies on this Monday afternoon. I keep a chance of a spot shower, 88. Tonight, mostly clear skies. A drop through the 80s for evening plans, 66 for the low. Tuesday, quiet. Plenty of sunshine, 88. Tuesday night, clear, 62. Wednesday and Thursday, sunny and 88. Full moon of September coming up Tuesday night, the harvest moon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, I went to Denver for a few days just to do a guy's trip. We're all steak connoisseurs, and I grew up eating Andrea's steak, and so I like to try the famous steakhouse in town wherever I go. So we went to a place called Buckhorn Exchange. It was very good, but man, I'm telling you what, St. Louis has a terrific steakhouse in Andrea's Steakhouse. So if you've never been there and you live here, you really should make it your next occasion to visit Andrea's Steakhouse. The steak sauce alone, even if you can't make it to the restaurant in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois, get the steak sauce because you will pass some at some end cap at a grocery store near you at some point, I'm sure. And you will hopefully think of me talking about Andrea's and how fantastic it is and how it is well known even outside of this area. So get a bottle before we run out of good weather for you to grill, but you can use it all winter, even if you want to use it in stews and other things as well. We use it on our pork steaks and on pork tenderloin quite a bit in the winter. Grab a bottle of Andrea's sauce at Deerberg, Schnucks, or Andreas.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Upgrade your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
12 amazing children, one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is September 27th, giving special needs kids a celebrity treatment they'll never forget. Join us for this month's Conservatives Care, The Night of Rock Stars, by visiting 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, that's exactly how he envisions it, of course. We're talking about hourly workers, and of course, when you work overtime in this country beyond 40 hours, you get time and a half, and the president's saying if you're one of those select hard workers that's really busting your rear end to try to make good in Kamala Harris's economy, then you should get a tax cut. And I think it fits fully, Margaret, with his entire tax agenda, which is we want American workers to get tax cuts under President Trump's policies, and we want to actually penalize companies that are shipping jobs overseas through tariffs. And Kamala Harris Harris's tax policies are, in fact, the inversion of that. She wants to raise taxes on American workers and actually reward companies for shipping jobs overseas. So it is a really stark contrast between the agenda of Donald Trump and of Kamala Harris.
So J.D. Vance there, the vice presidential candidate on the Donald Trump ticket, is talking about that new moment, that new thing that we've heard from President Trump about not taxing overtime. We've heard he doesn't want to tax tips. I'm sure very soon Kamala Harris also will not want to tax overtime. Let's get to a man who's advising Donald Trump on economics, has before and continues to do now. Steve Moore is a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation. Steve, we continue to hear specific plans from the Trump administration on how he's going to give this economy back to the American people. What do you think about his latest comment on overtime?
Hi, Annie. Good to be with you. I think it's an interesting idea. I haven't looked through the whole ramifications of it, but I think the idea of, giving a little bit of a raise to people who work hard. My first job was working in a warehouse outside of Chicago. And I was making $4 an hour, so that tells you how old I am. But so I tried to get as much overtime as I could, so I could make $6 an hour, so I could get the time and a half. But then you're penalized because you pay a higher tax rate, as your income goes up. And I think Trump is onto something here with saying, well, maybe we shouldn't tax that extra time that people put in for the extra hours. So I think it's as that clip you just played. Trump is always thinking about the working class, and how you can make life better for people who've been really singed by, Biden's policies. They're the people who've suffered the most from Biden inflation. The average family's lost about 4% of their income in real terms since Biden's come into office. So this is a good way to maybe give them a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And I, for one, appreciate hearing new ideas from the Trump administration. When Kamala Harris is asked in a local Pennsylvania interview.
Has a plan. Wait. Hold on. She's got a plan.
She's got a plan.
You know that?
What is
she
it?
She told us she's got a plan.
I don't understand
we don't quite know what
her.
It is,
yeah.
But there's a plan.
That's the problem.
And look, I thought, you and I haven't talked since the debate.
Yeah.
And look, I think Trump can do better than that. I think it was, he was fine, but I know he could really deliver, much more punchier statements. But I thought his best statement of the night, Annie, was his last statement, his closing argument, when he said, all we've heard in this debate is Kamala with the new plan, and we've got these great ideas for this and that. As he said, you guys have been in power for 4 years. Why haven't you done it? And it's a great line. I mean, does anybody think, Kamala is going to come in with this new agenda? What is this absurd statement? We're going to turn the page? Mm-hmm. I hope we turn the page from Bidenomics. It's been a disaster.
We're speaking with Steve Moore with the Heritage Foundation. I encourage you to check him out and the hotline that he sends out every day. I enjoy getting that. It keeps me up to speed on the details of what needs to happen with our economics. Donald Trump continues to push out these positions on the economy. We don't really hear specifics, details from Kamala Harris, but we do know that the Fed is meeting here shortly, and we might see some rate cuts this week, Wednesday. I'm wondering what you expect to happen, what you hope will happen, and what that will mean for the American people.
Well, I think you could justify a 0.25 percentage point rate reduction in interest rates right now. Inflation has come down, but those higher prices are still in the system, as you know. I mean, everything's still 20 to 25% more expensive thanks to Biden, which is a big bite out of people's purchasing power. But so I guess I would be in favor. If as you may know, I was nominated by Trump to be on the Federal Reserve Board. I didn't make it through the process, but if I were on the board, I think I'd probably vote for a 0.25 point reduction. But look, here's the point. Our problems are not monetary right now. I mean, right now we have inflation pretty, it's still a little too high, but it's come down. The problem is we've got a completely out of control regulatory process, government spending and debt. I don't know if you saw the news that we're now looking like this year we're going to probably borrow $2.1 trillion in 1 year in what's supposed to be a healthy economy. Why would we be doing that? I mean, it's one thing to borrow when you have a war or a pandemic, but why are we borrowing so much money now? That's a cancer cell in our economy. Meanwhile, Kamala is talking about a $4.6 trillion tax increase. I'm here to tell you, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, whatever you are, that's going to completely destroy the American economy. A $4.6 trillion economy on our tax on our businesses, investors, and small businesses, and our American companies? I mean, that's a plan that it sounds like Vladimir Putin came up with that to try to destroy the United States.
You know, I want to ask you about a detail that you just said there, because you kind of highlighted how people are told that this is supposed to be a good economy, but it's not doing what a good economy should do. I'm told regularly by Trump naysayers that we're not paying attention to how good the actual economy is. Wages are up, and they're saying inflation is down, and, you know, life is good. And then they always add that caveat on our economy is great compared to other nations. Why is the economy great and it's not able to be felt by the American people?
Yeah, well, look, you got 2 out of 3 Americans who've consistently said for the last 3.5 years that they think the country's going on the wrong direction, and they think the economy's going on the wrong direction. And so, you know, they can, all the political pundits can say what they want. It doesn't matter what I say or what you say or what, you know, Kamala Harris says. People know. They know. They look at those kitchen table issues. They see that they're having a hard time paying their bills. They see that, you know, the inflation is making everything they buy more expensive. They wonder whether they can take a vacation this year. They wonder if they can buy the Christmas gifts they wanted to because, you know, their incomes have fallen so much. So, you know, we want this election. Let me be loud and clear about this. We want this election to be a referendum on the economy. And if the American people think it's, you know, for the listeners of this, you think the economy is going well, you think 4 more years is a good idea, then vote for Kamala, because that's what she's going to give you, 4 more years of this.
Last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Steve Moore. We're always grateful to have him on here. How quickly will the American people be able to feel the economic impact of a second term of Donald Trump?
Oh, my God. I mean, that's a funny question, because I've been telling people, look, I think it's going to be we're going to hit the ground running day one. I mean, we are so ready. And we're going to repeal virtually all of Biden's, you know, ridiculous regulations, his green energy crap. We're going to start drilling for every barrel of oil we've got. We're going to start to, you know, provide pay raises for American workers. We're going to conquer the inflation rate. I think it's going to be immediate. I think within 3 months we're going to have this economy turned around. I really do. By the way, I have, before I go, I wanted to let you know one of the first announcements to you, which is that I have a book coming out with Arthur Laffer, the most famous economist in the world, and the title of the book is The Trump Economic Miracle. And it has all the data and statistics about what's happening, you know, what happened under Trump and what's happened. It's a kind of compare and contrast between his 4 years in office and these 4 years in office. So it'll be out probably on Amazon, available within a matter of a few days.
Oh.
And guess who wrote the forward to the book?
Who?
Guess.
Donald Trump?
Yes,
Whoa.
he did.
Steve, you're the only person who quizzes me like this, and I am so excited
right,
when I
get one more quiz.
Oh boy!
Are you ready for this second quiz?
No.
All right,
but let's go.
The original title of the book was called Trumponomics 2.0, but somebody told us they didn't like that title, and they thought it would be a better title to call it The Trump Economic Miracle. You know who that was?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2.
Yes! That's like being in Sunday school and answering the question Jesus when you don't know the answer.
You're the know-it-all who's always raising their hand and saying, I know.
Donald Trump.
But anyway, people, it's going to be, you know, it's just a paperback, but I think for people who want to know the truth about the economy, they should get that book, The Trump Economic Miracle, available in 10 days.
Well, we are going to promote that here when we have you on and in between as well. I'm going to read it. Steve Moore, thanks for giving us the tip on that. We appreciate you.
Okay. Take care. Have a great week.
All right. Bye-bye. You made it sound like that was I'm like trying to Google the answers over here. And it's like so fresh and new that there's not a whole lot out there, or they're suppressing it. But seriously, Steve Moore is the only person who will ask me, you know, people in interviews will ask rhetorical questions. And so I just sit and pause and wait, but he just also waits. And it makes me super nervous. But I feel so good when I get the question right.
Listen, in the future,
just
say Donald Trump.
I'm going to.
No matter the question.
Like I said, in Sunday school, I went to a Lutheran school, so it kind of applied there too. Highly recommend. If someone asks you a question, you're like, Jesus? And they're like, that's always the answer. But I asked you a math question.
How much?
This is the equivalent.
How much did inflation fall in Q1? Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, man. And then you got to say it like that. I was talking to one of our coworkers before, a little bit about politics. They have nothing to do with politics, and I just know this person personally, have known him for a long time. And I told him, he's like, is it possible to be Is it possible that I really like Donald Trump and am really frustrated with him at the same time? I'm like, it's probable. It's not possible. It's probable. I think that's the way a lot of Americans feel. And I think it's important that you talk about it. That you can say, in spite of X, Y, and Z, whatever your concerns are with the man, how in the world could you vote in your own best interests and cast a ballot for Kamala Harris? Somebody make that make sense. Because I don't think that you can do it without talking about Donald Trump. And if the response is, I have to talk about Donald Trump because Donald Trump is an existential threat to democracy, so we have to make sure we do whatever we can to keep him out of office, which is a phrase that you hear a lot and is very frustrating, then you're telling me that it doesn't matter at all anything that Kamala Harris stands for. You would accept everything solely because Kamala Harris isn't Donald Trump. And I just say, my apologies, but that is an incredibly ignorant point of view. Which is why I keep telling Ryan he should vote for Trump, but he's
I'm on the fence.
Super stubborn.
I'm on the fence, but the only reason I'm considering Kamala is I think Donald Trump is an existential threat to democracy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that to people like you...
I hope people are tuning in for the first time right now. Go on.
When I say it to people like you, you challenge me and you say, what exactly are you looking forward to about Kamala Harris? And I say, well, her joy. And then you say, here's the best question that you ask me. What exactly are you so afraid that Donald Trump's going to do in this next 4 years that he didn't do before? And I don't really know the answer to that question.
It's where he struggles.
Yeah, as a Kamala supporter, who was a Biden supporter, by the way, I'm only transferring support to Kamala because I was riding with Biden.
Yeah. Now you got a decision to make.
That's a big question.
Which is very impactful for a man of your age now, because your Social Security income here is, in the brink.
I feel as if that was an age-related joke.
No,
because of my birthday.
I am very respectful of my elders.
Tell you what. You're about a year and a half younger than me.
That's not even true.
And I bet both of us have already gotten AARP materials in the mail.
I never have.
You haven't?
No, but my husband has. Who is a year older than me, and I didn't even show it to him. Is it a missed opportunity? No, it was a choice.
It's ridiculous. I don't think we can be in AARP until you're 60, maybe 55,
50s,
something like that. But I'm 43. I haven't gotten any today.
It's my favorite number.
Why?
It's my basketball number. It's always been my favorite number.
Oh, great.
I have this thing when I'm coaching sports with the kids, like who's going to get the ball first, who's going to go first, whatever. I always like pick a number 1 through and then some random number. It's 43 every time.
And they still haven't picked it up?
Not many of them. My daughter, I always pick the kid who's going to do it. I would do this when my husband, if I was helping coach something boys in grade school years ago. And I never pick my kid. And there are a couple who have caught on to it, and I just pick other people. By the end of the season, you'd think they'd all know. Just pick 43, but they don't.
Mine's always 16. You know why? Brett Hull.
We went Blues. That's not a bad reason. All right.
He was the star in my formative years.
We're going to celebrate Ryan Wiggins for the rest of the show after we talk to Joe Concha. We're going to celebrate Joe Concha first.
Well, I'm going to leave then.
Joe Concha is going to talk, and you know what a Joe Concha interview sounds like.
Yeah.
The words per minute.
High flying.
Off the charts. Joe Concha is going to react to the media coverage of assassination attempt number 2 on Donald Trump when we come back. So buckle up. We'll be right back.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So, Stewart's American Mortgage. Last week I was talking to you about getting the jump on rates should they come down. This week's a big week. And we're going to see what the Fed does. We just talked to Steve Moore about the Fed possibly lowering it a quarter. I've heard people say it's going to be even more. I also was reading an article recently about maybe it was in April of 23. I can't remember which April was it 23 or 24? But rates were at 7.5% on mortgages. Does that sound familiar to you? If so, get with Stewart's American Mortgage right now because you need to get a better rate. Rates are probably going to come down even more from where they are right now. They're lower than they've been in a while. And you want to lock in those lower rates when you can. And when you use the bagel loan, which you can only get at Stewart's American Mortgage, you pay nothing to close that refinance. You don't have any closing costs, which is like, duh, no brainer. Why wouldn't you do this? I promise you it makes sense. I've done it twice myself. I have purchased this or done this, gone through this process to get my rates lowered years ago when they were super, super low through Stewart's American Mortgage. And I speak highly of the process because I've done it myself. And I encourage you to get that lower rate right now while it exists. 314-324-4440. Stewie will not guide you in the wrong way. He'll help you do what's best for you. So reach out to him and tell him Annie sent you. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. Fall will be here before you know it, and you probably haven't cleaned the house up properly from all the spills over the summer. So here's your opportunity in the month of September to get a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. Professional carpet cleaning. They can do the carpets, the tiles, rugs, upholstery. Every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Here's the offer for the month of September. This is a great time to get the air ducts cleaned as well. But on the carpet side, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. On the air duct side, $75 off your air duct cleaning. That's one of the best offers of the year. That will help you alleviate allergies and asthma. Your home is just going to be cleaner, lower energy bills. It's a smart thing to do. So the month of September, make sure you mention my name. 3 rooms starting at $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, we take you into the weekend with a Reardon Roundtable. It all starts at 3. Jane Duker on the panel. State Rep Steve Butts, State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay. Any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
Alex Witt and Elise Jordan on MSNBC doing the equivocal, she was asking for it analogy there, with Donald Trump not doing his part in toning down the rhetoric, which is resulting in a second attempt on his life. Wow. The media today. Joe Concha.
Oh, what you know, Joe. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor.
When I'm watching the media reaction to this second attempt, my immediate thought was, I got to go see what Joe Concha is tweeting. And you were right on it, Joe. Welcome back to the show. I mean, I guess we expect this stuff right now, but shouldn't we be throwing a fit about the way the media is reacting to this second attempt?
We've seen this movie. We saw it in July after Butler, Pennsylvania. We're seeing it again. They're going to blow right by this coverage, and no one's really going to do the investigative work that this absolutely demands. The investigation should be asking the following questions. Has the Secret Service been infiltrated by bad actors out of Iran, for example? I'm reading Susan Crabtree, Real Clear Politics, solid reporter, and she reported back in August that, let's see, long-standing concerns about Iranian infiltration of key U.S. protective agencies has intensified in recent weeks in the wake of the mid-July assassination attempt of former President Trump. She goes on to say that there may be Iranian intelligence assets within the Secret Service. Now, why should we ask that question? Because I keep going back to this. I was on the Big Weekend show last night. I asked it then. I'll ask it for your audience. How did this gunman know that Donald Trump was even going to be there?
Yes.
Because it wasn't on his public schedule. And you say, well, he was golfing at Mar-a-Lago. Of course, that's an easy thing to guess. No, there is no golf course at Mar-a-Lago. He golfs at 2 golf courses down there. One in West Palm Beach at Trump International, and he has another property in Jupiter, which is less than 20 miles away. They're about equidistant. And he plays them, kind of goes back and forth because it is kind of boring to play the same course over and over again. So, but how does the gunman know that? How does the gunman get across a highway median with a rifle, then get across this large grassy field, and then is able to perch himself right at the 6th hole as Trump is about to leave the 5th? You have to have inside knowledge in order to do that. Those are way too many coincidences. And if this were a one-time thing, maybe I wouldn't be asking this question with such vigor. But after what we saw in Butler, where they send Trump out onto that stage, knowing there was a threat out there, and then a 20-year-old outflanks the entire Secret Service and gets on the one building that had line of sight to Trump. So after a while, I'm well past incompetence at this point, and I'm in a much darker place, and it's not good, and it's up to our media, in addition to the FBI and to Congress and whoever else would investigate this sort of thing, to be asking these questions and following the facts, because if this is a conspiracy, if it is Iranians actually dictating these assassination attempts, well, they're not going to stop, and eventually they will be successful.
Yeah, it's scary to watch, and we don't want to believe these types of things to be possible, but the second attempt, it makes things a little more clear for people. The charging documents for the gunman say agents requested T-Mobile on an emergency basis to provide law enforcement with information pertaining to his mobile phone usage. Those records indicated that his mobile phone was located in the vicinity of the area along the tree line from approximately 1:59 a.m. until approximately 1:31 p.m.
Yeah.
The heads up notice on something like this demands answers on how that could be possible.
And it's like an episode out of 24, right? I mean, like these are things you've stated it perfectly before, that if you told me this even a couple of years ago, that all these things would be happening, I would say you're crazy. No, there's no way. You know, the Secret Service more than anything else, you probably have complete trust in. And I do. The people that protect Trump, that are with him, I've met. I flew on his plane a couple of months ago when he had a Wildwood rally. I was covering it, and they offered me a ride, and it beats the middle seat of JetBlue. So you take that offer, believe me.
Yes.
But I spoke to some of the agents then, and they're just like rock solid. So I'm not blaming them. And obviously they were able to scare off this guy by seeing that barrel coming out of the bushes. So yeah, that's great work on the ground. But somewhere within this organization, somebody's given someone a heads up on where Trump's going to be. And if you have that knowledge in advance, that's 95% of the work right there. And oh, by the way, Ryan Roche, the suspect, he's not even from Florida. So how does he know the land so well, right? Hawaii, yeah.
Like that's not an Uber. There's definitely something that's going on there. How does he get that rifle? How does he get that information? All of this is stuff that requires answers. And instead of asking those questions and demanding those answers, we hear pundit after pundit right now on a lot of the predictable media types saying, well, you know what? Donald Trump, his tone, it's been a problem. We've told him he needs to tone it down. So are they saying that he's getting what he's asking for here?
Oh, he's wearing too short of a skirt, right?
Yes.
Wore a short skirt. Yeah. Had it coming. He's someone asking for this. Lester Holt. Look, I'm going to see that sort of crap on like MSNBC. But on NBC News last night, it's just a couple hours after an assassination attempt, I'll quote Lester Holt. Quote, today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail. Mr. Trump, his running mate, J.D. Vance, continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Okay. So what that does for starters, whether the dogs are being eaten or not, and Trump shouldn't have gone down that road during the debate, but because we just don't know, right? If you don't know, don't go with it. You very easily could go with the argument, which would have stood up just fine, that in a town like Springfield, Ohio, which had 60,000 residents, well, now they've added 20,000 Haitians to that population. Basically, 25% of the population are now Haitians, and it's affecting quality of life in terms of crime, in terms of driving accidents, in terms of XYZ. He makes that point. We're not talking about it again. But to that point, though, what's hateful about that? What exactly is, how do you put it again? That fierce rhetoric. The fierce rhetoric comes from the left. I mean, that's what I've seen as far as Trump is Hitler. I mean, you remember Brian Stelter had a guest on his show on CNN, and the guest said that Trump has killed more people than Stalin, Hitler, and Mao combined. And then people called out Stelter for it, and he's like, oh, well, my audio went out the time. I didn't hear him say that. Oh, shut up. Worst liar. I swear, you're not good at this. So, yeah, as far as like Trump's rhetoric has led to this moment, no. That's not it at all. What's led to this moment could be something far, far worse, far darker, and that is Iranians or some sort of bad actors infiltrating our intelligence agencies and trying to take out the guy they know would be infinitely tougher on them than Kamala Harris could ever dream of being. Yeah,
you're spot on. Joe Concha speaking with us right now. Appreciate having you on to talk about this today. I don't know what the American people's natural reaction is. There's polls. We can look at polls, and I don't really believe polls with too much faith. They're just kind of interesting to watch trends over the course of time. But I got to think that there aren't a lot of Americans out there that think that there is any justification on attempting to take Donald Trump's life. And with the immediate responses to this second event going straight to criticisms of Donald Trump's tone, that's got to be off-putting for anybody who hasn't had their mind made up for 8 years already.
But that's right. I mean, I keep hearing about independent voters or undecided voters. It's as far as like the way Trump performed at the debate, the pressure was on Kamala Harris, I thought, because we don't know who she is. She had to define herself, or at least tell us, hey, what is your policy on inflation or taxes? We never got any of that, right? She didn't answer one question. And then we see, obviously, ABC News, 5 fact checks of Donald Trump, 0 of Kamala Harris, 6 follow-ups of Donald Trump, 0 of Kamala Harris. And I don't know how much you've been paying attention to this particular affidavit that's come out recently,
Yes.
Annie. And look, I don't know whether it's true or not. All right, I just don't. The sourcing, I think the guy's name is Black Insurrectionist on Twitter. This isn't coming from, Bloomberg or Real Clear Politics or something. This is, we don't know. But the affidavit, what I do know is, yes, it was written and signed on September 9th. That was the day before the debate, and everything the guy predicted about the debate, in other words, what he said he knew from within ABC as an employee, that they agreed not to fact check Kamala Harris, they agreed not to ask her anything about Joe Biden's health and her cover-up of it. They all came true. So I'm just putting that out there that if that is true, and I'm putting a big if around that, I want the guy says he has tapes. I want to hear the tapes. The tapes are true. ABC News is finished as an organization, and then Kamala Harris, I think, is finished as a candidate because it'll show that she had to cheat to win that particular debate, and it was obvious that she was a lot more composed than she normally is, and you have to ask yourself, why was that?
You just got to ask yourself, Joe, and you do this on a regular basis. You call this out, especially on X, with regularity, but there are no instances where the oopsies or the finger on the scale in the system where it leans to Donald Trump ever. And it is mind-blowing to me. The negative coverage, it's like 95% negative coverage for Donald Trump and like 89 or 90% positive for Kamala Harris. That Donald Trump still manages to cut through in a lot of these polls is actually winning even potentially the popular vote. That his policies, there's something about this man that is still popular enough under all of this protest from the people who are supposed to be advocating for the voter and for truth, regardless of whom it helps, that Donald Trump still manages to cut through with the support that he has.
It's amazing because he's consistent. He's not a flip-flopper like Kamala Harris is. He's not saying anything to get elected like she is at this point. And you just know the brand. I mean, you could like the guy or not like the guy in terms of his personality. The very basic question that this election comes down to, and it's a very easy contrast binary choice, were you better off when Trump was president, or were you better off when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were in office? And if enough people in the right states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, if they ask themselves that question and they say, all right, I don't really like Trump's personality that much, but for my family, for its safety, for its prosperity, I felt better when Trump was in office than he wins this election. You see polls now with Kamala Harris with a slight lead, but I think Trump supporters are vastly undercounted, and we've seen it in every election, right? Like Joe Biden was up by 8 points at this stage of the election, and he won by a whisker. Yeah. Hillary Clinton was up even more, and she lost. So I read polls now, and I'm like, I don't know if it means anything. Now, all of that said, Annie, and then I know we got to go, but I think Trump should do one more debate, but do a town hall.
That's what I said. Yes.
Demand it be on Fox because you can trust the moderators there. And by and large, just the audience will be asking most of the questions, and that's how it should be, right? So that's what you should do.
Yeah, connects the candidate with the voters, and I want to see what Kamala Harris looks like talking to voters. Absolutely.
Yeah, she won't agree to it, though.
Yeah.
In 1,000 years, she will not agree to it. I mean, think about this for a second. She apparently has all this momentum coming out of this debate, and she still won't sit down with, like, The View or Rachel Maddow? Like, really?
Yeah.
They're that scared? No. This is the strategy going forward. So, yeah, if she agrees to a debate, it'll only be like with, okay, but only on NBC. No, you don't agree to anything unless it's on Fox, and it's that simple.
Yeah. Amen. That's where the viewers are and the
That's
voters.
A good point. Yes.
If you want to be seen, well, maybe now we understand. Joe Concha, thank you. We always love having you.
Bye, Annie.
Bye. See you soon. Fox News contributor. His book is Progressively Worse: Why Today's Democrats Ain't Your Daddy's Donkeys, which is available right now. I highly encourage you read it. It's a really, really good look at the progress, to use a phrase, of the Democrat Party over time and why so many Democrats right now, regardless of whether they're diving into like ultra MAGA supporter, red hat wearing Trump supporters, they're looking at their Democrat Party that they've known and supported in the past and going, this is not for me anymore. Love to have Joe Concha on the show. Let's take a quick break. Ryan Wiggins, birthday boy, coming back in here in the next segment. Let's talk about this YouTube live chat poll. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? What a question to be asking right now. We've got over 230 votes on the poll right now. I need your voice because I'm looking at these results right now and I'm concerned. Go vote. Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Well, I don't know Latin.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I don't know. Mama tried to tell me so.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, you know them online at igotfloor.com. Shopping for flooring, please give Michael's Flooring Outlet the opportunity to show you why they've been serving families like yours in Missouri and Illinois for 30 years. It's pretty impressive. I think it is. You don't get to stay in business that long. Think about the ups and downs we've had in the last 3 decades. The businesses, the family businesses that have stuck around over those 3 decades, they're doing something very right. And that's why we're glad to partner with them here on the Annie Fry Show. If you're looking for flooring and if you're looking for a great value for your hard-earned dollar, go to people who respect that. Go to people who understand that you're working your tail off to do a good job, to provide a good service. They're doing the same thing, and that's what's kept them in business all of this time. You can learn about their Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line that gives you that silky softness and superior performance for carpeting. Love it. Going to be putting it in some carpeting in our new home when we finally build it, and I can't wait to get that fresh carpet smell in my house. But I want to get something that's quality. Michael's Flooring Outlet, that's where it's at. You can find them online at igotfloor.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be at Enterprise Center December 18th. Get the best seats by getting your tickets in September for this Christmas season. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, December 18, 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
What if we found a way to get lost without fear? Leave it all behind, we're escaping. If you told me that my fate was on your fingertips, then I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it. Yeah. Every kiss with you, it's like a prayer falls from my lips. Now I'm a believer. Yeah, I'm a believer. This is heaven.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
YouTube Live Chat poll for today. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? You guys haven't looked at the results, right?
No, I haven't seen them.
I'm kind of shocked at them right now. I'm not going to give them to you. So if you haven't voted yet, I want to get a resounding response
Before you say what it is.
Well, yeah, we'll give the results at 255
Yeah.
ish every day. Sometimes it's 2:57 when Ryan reminds me after the show that I should have given the results.
Yeah.
That happened once.
And sometimes if you're not here, it'll be like 2:41.
You just go for it?
Like the fill-in host, I'm always like, hey, we give the results at the very end. And they're like, okay, it's the last segment. And then it's like the first
very
thing.
end,
the very end of the very end.
The very end, yeah. So the
Yeah.
YouTube question, and people will say to me when we meet them at the debate party or whatever, like, I don't know how to get to the poll. It is simple, but I understand if you haven't seen it yet that it might not feel simple to you. So let me just walk you through the steps real quick. You open up YouTube on your computer. You got a YouTube app on your phone. You open up YouTube and you type in my name, Annie Frey, N-F-R-E-Y, A-N-N-I-E-F-R-E-Y. We're going to pop up. You're going to see our channel there. You're going to see that we're broadcasting live because for 3 hours a day, we're saying hi to the people on the cameras in the studio and watching the chat as people come through. We got 152 people on YouTube alone right now. And what are you doing?
I'm just staring into the camera.
Oh, I thought you were...
No, I'm staring. No, you thought I was watting the news. No.
I did. And then I looked up and it was a commercial asking people to sue about baby formula or something.
Yeah, no.
You had this look on your face like something amazing was happening.
No, it was me indulging in myself.
Yeah. Welcome to Monday.
Happy birthday.
Annie Frey on YouTube. We're broadcasting live. You can always come watch us. I don't know that you have to subscribe to the channel to vote, but if you look where the live chat is on the live broadcast, that's why we call it the YouTube live chat poll, to be specific as to where it is. So you got to go to the broadcast on YouTube and where we're having this conversation. Once you find it and you join us, it's a lot of fun. Got a lot of people chatting there throughout the course of the day. And then you can also, if you so choose, determine that you want to leave a comment about the poll. So I want to ask you guys what you think about this. But first, Hunter responds to the question, do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? He says, it really depends on the definition of compromised, but I think their purpose isn't being focused on 100% of the time. So their mission has been compromised. That's kind of an interesting way to react to it. Lisa said, if it is government run, it is corrupt at some level. I do not believe everyone in the organization, organizations are corrupt, but definitely the upper echelon. I would love to think it's not, but.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see here. Andy, I wanted to read his. Compromised in what way? Are they intentionally not protecting him? No. Are they incapable due to budget, lack of resources, difficulties in protecting someone who is so visible? Yes. I think that's also an interesting perspective of it. I don't know 100% where I fall on this because there's a huge part of me that does not want to willfully believe that the Secret Service can be compromised this way. Ryan, you go first. What do you think?
I am willing to entertain really any allegation anywhere about anything, but I just don't see this one yet. I'm a no on this poll. And there are other things that I think I'm way more prone to believe there are like some sort of conspiratorial elements to. This one, I just don't think there is, partially because they got the guy this time. He wasn't able to fire a shot at the president. It does look like he was waiting there to fire a shot at the president. He wasn't able to. So that means the Secret Service did their job. Could have they have done this better where the guy wouldn't have been even waiting in the bushes at all to take a shot? Yes, they could have. But ultimately, nothing happened here. That's good news. The same would be true of the Pennsylvania rally shooting. If they had stopped that kid before he was able to take a shot, that would have been a success. Should somebody be getting into a rally with a gun, period? No. So there's elements to this that you go, yeah, there's elements you kind of go, well, things could have been done better the whole time. And that's where the conspiracy to me is, are they giving Trump the B team? You know, that's where I think the discussion is for me.
Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw was talking about this. I guess this is from yesterday.
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the city president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course surrounded. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been. and their agent did a fantastic job.
So, Brad, what do you think? Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised?
I voted yes on the poll, and the reason I voted yes was because I'm not viewing this as compromise as somebody maliciously got in there and has flipped some people within the Secret Service.
Which some people are saying is possible.
It's possible. Yeah, they're saying it's possible. My thoughts are more that there is some level of incompetence or failure, or a weak point that in anything that's a compromise. If there's a weak point in a bridge, that bridge becomes compromised. It's not that somebody got in there and made that point weak, just time, fatigue, whatever, complacency. I think that there's something in the Secret Service right now that they haven't had to really face many threats on any of the people that they're supposed to be protecting as of late. And they've kind of gotten complacent. I think that the thing in Butler woke them up, which is why I think that the Secret Service shot first this time, or allegedly shot first this time. I don't think they waited to see what this was. Or...
Yeah, I don't think any bullets were fired from the gunman.
As far as I understand it, there were not.
But to not be patrolling the perimeter, I keep seeing the map of it, and that where they found this guy the road was right next to it.
Yeah.
To not be patrolling the perimeter is wild, because even at my church, we have security people go out and walk the perimeter of our property.
But at the same time, his phone was there at 1:59 a.m.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how much he was camouflaged in that instance, but it seems like he gained access early. Gary says, I'll say yes, but they could also be becoming incompetent, which is what Brad is saying here. If the agents were 2 holes ahead of Trump, why did they open fire knowing there was a road in the background? Lots of questions. Well, I don't know the logistics. I don't know if we have all of the information to understand the angle, and if you're going to shoot a bullet, you need to know where that bullet is going to be made to stop. But incompetence, negligence, malfeasance, these are questions that need to be asked. And if it isn't something nefarious, they should be able to come out and tell us the truth so that we can understand for ourselves why it's not nefarious. What happened? I mean, this is going to become like school shootings. We know the Georgia school shooting that just happened. We know that there's another one coming. We just know. We live in that world now. We're 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life in. Do you feel like if you were Eric Trump, or if you're Melania Trump, do you feel like, okay, they're going to implement the things to stop this from happening again? My husband, my dad is safe. I don't.
No, I don't either. You know what? After the first one, I felt like, okay, now they're really going to have their act together, which in a sense they did here. They got the guy. But it also makes you think, okay, now we're 2 in. That means that we have another month, and maybe, if he wins, you're going to have 4 years possible of this, hopefully of, like you said, increased security, because he would be the president at that point. But it does make you think maybe we're just entering a new phase where this becomes the norm. And that is a frightening thought, because this has always been like, oh, that's other countries. No, that's here now.
I really, I'm not a good faith person. Like, I don't want to, I'm not the person who's like, well, I feel like we should trust them until we have evidence explicitly to suggest otherwise. That's not really who I am. But I very much don't want to believe a possibility that exists out there that Iran, who knowingly wants to kill Donald Trump, could find its way into weakening the system enough to make that possible.
That's a frightening thought.
And here's the other thing. I don't think we're ever going to know the answer to that question.
We're not in a place where Iran seems strong enough to do that. What scares me is that we're in a weakened state enough that could happen.
And that's because we continue to hear politically people talking about how Donald Trump needs to be stopped, that he's Hitler, and that he's a threat to democracy. We can do way better on our own. We can clean up our own house first. Let's talk more about it in the 2 o'clock hour. Come join us on the Andy Fry YouTube channel. Back in a minute.
fingertips.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
Well, the Retirement Advisory Group is having yet another one of their events. I believe this is the last one of the year. And when you become a certain age, you know, when you listen to Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw talk about it at 59 and a half years old, you got to start making decisions. And, you know, Ryan Wiggins knows this. You become a certain age. And this might be of interest to you.
I'm 33, Annie.
You're not 33. That's a lie.
I'm 43.
Don't lie here. No, don't lie here.
No, that's the truth.
If you were thinking about retirement because you have reached the silver-haired age like Ryan Wiggins has, and you're thinking about moving into retirement, you need to make the right moves. And the Retirement Advisory Group, they'll help you with that. Come see me. I'll be there from 6 to 6:30 along with Mark and Mark. But of course, Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig, the Retirement Advisory Group, Tuesday, October 1st, Frontenac Hilton, 6:30 p.m. It's free. You just got to reserve your spot, and they will fill up. 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep. Repairs drain your bank account. And with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. TrueHold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993. That number again is 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Don't wait. Call now. 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Condemnation from the president after a second Trump assassination attempt. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's an incident that remains under investigation.
President Biden commended the Secret Service for expertly handling a gunman discovered not far from where former President Trump was golfing Sunday.
Let me just say, there is no, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, those of you who know me, many of you do, no place in political violence in America. None. Zero. Never.
The president says the acting head of the Secret Service will determine if any changes are needed to former President Trump's security detail. Earlier, President Biden said the Secret Service needs help and possibly more personnel.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Trump blames what he calls communist left rhetoric for the second assassination attempt in 2 months. The suspect, Ryan Ruth, was found driving his car a few hours after the Secret Service fired on him when a gun was spotted at the Trump golf course in Florida.
Cell phone records place him at the scene from 1:59 a.m. on Sunday to 1:30 p.m., almost 12 hours in the shrubs there along that fence line. The Secret Service, Justice Department, and FBI all taking different pieces of this pie. The DOJ, of course, with the charges, the FBI investigating Ruth himself, his background, his prior crimes, also his potential motive, perhaps other accomplices.
Fox's David Spud. Ruth has prior felony convictions in North Carolina and is held on 2 gun charges for now. Vice President Kamala Harris just wrapping up a closed-door meeting with members of the Teamsters Union.
We had the same round table that we've had for
all the presidential candidates that have come in. We've asked the same questions of each candidate, mostly Teamster-specific issues.
Union President Sean O'Brien says they could decide on an endorsement in the presidential race as early as Wednesday. They met with Trump in January. America is listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Quiet and warm as we go through the week ahead. Partly to mostly sunny skies on this Monday afternoon. I keep a chance of a spot shower, 88. Tonight, mostly clear skies. A drop through the 80s for evening plans, 66 for the low. Tuesday, quiet. Plenty of sunshine, 88. Tuesday night, clear, 62. Wednesday and Thursday, sunny and 88. Full moon of September coming up Tuesday night, the harvest moon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So I've talked to you about Lutheran schools before, again, at a volleyball tournament this weekend, and just seeing so many amazing Lutheran schools, amazing families, amazing kids, all coming together from both sides of the river. And it just makes my heart happy that these kids have this opportunity, but it also makes me want to shout from the mountaintops that this opportunity is out there for you and for your child or your grandchild as well. I want to talk to you about Lutheran education, and I want you to understand that these Lutheran elementary schools, they're Lutheran high schools as well. These Lutheran schools are parochial schools. They're obviously not public schools, but they bring in all kinds of people. It's not just Lutherans who go there. There's a wide variety of people. Most people of faith, but also a lot of people who don't really go to church. They don't have a faith affiliation, but they wanted something different for their child. I'll tell you this, when you send your kid to a Lutheran school, you're going to get that faith-based understanding of life, of culture. You're going to understand the difference between right and wrong. That's kind of hard to come by, I guess, these days, but also with the element of right, wrong, and forgiveness included. But you're going to get a top-notch education. You're going to have access to all of the extracurriculars, the sports, the STEM, the music, everything. LESASTL.org/Annie. It's Lisa with an E. LESASTL.org/Annie. Please go check it out for yourself. Help your grandchildren make this a part of their life. You will love it. LESASTL.org/Annie.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Save money on your next oil change with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get a $10 gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wednesday, September 25th, join the Annie Fry Show in St. Charles as we support Princess Storm's annual diaper drive. You can buy diapers at Ruler Foods to donate right there on the spot or bring your own. Come say hi. Wednesday, September 25th.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Brad turned me off. Usually he turns me on. Brad turned me off. Usually he turns me on. Brad. Usually he turns me on. Usually he turns me on.
Does this keep going? This should be an intro for a segment that I will not be a part of.
See, for me to be embarrassed by that, I would have had to have said, oh, that's taken out of context. That was in context.
That was in context. Happy birthday to Ryan Wiggins from 1D to the C.
I figured. Yeah.
You didn't think Brad did that to you?
No, I didn't. Because Brad is prepping for many, many other things.
Also, if Brad would have said that about you, Ryan, that Ryan turns me on, you would absolutely have made a remix about it.
Oh, yeah. That would have been done last week, even though I was on vacation.
But Brad's focus has been the show. Is what you're saying.
Brad's priorities are right.
Mm-hmm.
My priorities are also right, but they're different.
This is the old multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ryan
Thank you,
Wiggins.
and thank you for all the gifts. And I already opened everything, so hopefully that wasn't supposed to be a part of this segment.
No.
But Brad got me a shirt that is
Do you have it?
it's in my office.
Okay. You
but
can describe it for us.
yeah, I will. It's a Little Debbie It's a Little Debbie logo, but made into like an adult version.
Uh-huh.
And by adult, I don't mean
Oh, man.
Man, the whole time we were talking about oatmeal cream pies, you thought we were talking about oatmeal cream pies.
Ooh, nasty.
Go get the shirt. And maybe Kyle can get it.
Maybe Kyle
can you tell
get it. Yeah,
Kyle where it is?
If Kyle can hear us.
So Ryan can stay. Where is it?
It's just in my office. You'll find it. But it is a adult version of that logo. In that,
you keep saying it. It's not like that.
They have made Little Debbie into an adult, but she still looks like she's trying to be a child, and it says Big Deborah.
Yeah, but she's also had some oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's filled out a little bit.
No, you're implying that she got older. I'm implying that she just had extra cream pies.
Well, she looks older. She doesn't look like the same little kid.
We need to see the shirt. You need to go put the shirt on. When he brings it in, just put it on top.
I don't think he's going to get it.
Well, then go tell him.
Oh, there he's going to get it.
Thanks,
Okay.
Kyle.
All right.
It's like the most helpful person in the building right now.
Yeah, he is.
He's been so kind.
And then you got me a gift card to Wendy's, which is terrific because it said basically go crazy on saucy nugs. And I will go crazy on saucy nugs.
I tried to write on the gift card, but I only had a pen. I didn't have a marker, and it's like a thick plastic.
Yeah.
I was like, screw it. He doesn't care. I put the receipt in there.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
thank
With inflation, that should probably buy you maybe like 8 or 10 saucy nugs.
Yeah, that'd be all right. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get probably a couple of the Frosties.
Thank you, Kyle.
The Frosties have been on sale lately, so those will go very far. Here's the picture if you want to see it.
Can you? It says Big Deborah.
Mm-hmm.
She has an extra chin.
I don't think she looks older.
No? Same age, just bigger?
She looks fuller.
Fuller is a nice way to put that.
Thank you.
Just like the old saying goes, if you eat too much, you will get fat.
That's actually not an appropriate saying anymore. You can't say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to figure out a PC way to say that.
Oh, okay. If you overindulge, you will carry
more joy.
Your calories. You will carry more joy.
Become more jolly.
Yeah, jolly. Thank you.
Chunky.
Chonky, I
was
like.
a word that Brad. So it's your birthday and you're a senior citizen now. What are you going to do to celebrate?
Probably lay down on the couch.
Pick out some assisted living facilities?
Yeah, warm my bones by the fire, even though it's like 85.
I was going to say, it's not 85. And then I looked, it's 84.
Oh,
So
I was
pretty
right.
close.
I just took a random guess. Look at that.
I was thinking
it is
was
exactly
like
85.
low to mid 70s, but you almost nailed that spot on. In fact, outside over there, it might be 85.
Yeah, I think I got that right.
Oh my gosh, over here it is. This computer says 85. That one says 84.
It updated.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, to correct itself to me.
Do you have big plans for your birthday?
Well, my plans were in the past. We went out of town this weekend.
That was for your birthday?
Well, kind of. I mean, we
No.
we half celebrated. I got a lot of birthday congratulatory back slaps.
Let me close caption this
Okay.
for the folks listening at home that aren't familiar with Ryan enough. My guess here is that you and your buddies, do you take an annual trip?
At this point, we do. Yeah.
So you plan an annual trip. It
Yep.
happened to be the weekend before your birthday, and therefore you declared it your birthday trip.
No, but they did so that they could tell me happy birthday and then not have to worry about it again. So that was
Sounds
not on
like
me.
you're among kindred spirits.
I am.
Yes.
That's why we've been friends for so long.
That's good.
Yeah. We did a few things. One of the weirdest things, while we were in Denver, I said, let's do a Segway tour of the Cheyenne Mountains.
We do that every day on the show.
And so we were all four on Segways. Well, there were two other people in our group. And so I shared the picture if you want to see it there. Annie's holding it up. There's me with a helmet on the Segway looking super hot.
Yeah, it looks like it's about 90 degrees.
It actually was. It was really warm
You
there.
were super hot.
Yeah, we were hot. And of the four of us, me and, I'm the youngest of my friend group, so I just turned 43. The rest of them have already turned 43. The other two people on the tour with us were, I would say, in their 60s, brother and sister. We're riding down.
So it was you guys and then this brother and
Us
sister?
four, and then these other two people. That's
Mhm.
just the way it is. You
Yeah.
get thrown in together.
Sure.
So we don't know them, but we kind of learn their names. We're about an hour into this thing. It's supposed to be a 2-hour Segway tour of the mountains. And this guy comes blowing by us. And the tour guide, we're thinking, oh, this probably happens all the time. Because we're on a road, cars are going by. Most of the stuff we're doing is off-road, but we, got to go down some roads. So this guy comes blowing by us at like 50 and a 30. And we're like, whoa, that was a little surprise there. And the tour guide, we assume that he's like, oh, you see it all the time. He had never seen somebody try to pass that quickly. And so all of us got a little shaken up. The other couple that were with us, we keep going. Well, we hear behind us another car coming. It was going to do what cars do, which is slow down, go around us. But the woman of the two other people got a little spooked. And so she kind of veered to the side a little bit. Well, she hit the curb. Boom. Oh, no. Went over her handlebars, slammed onto the pavement. My friend who was with us, Dr. Ty Parker, Fountains Family Dentistry, has some medical training. He runs back to try to help her. She has at least cracked one rib.
Oh.
Laying on this pavement.
No.
She may have injured her back. She had blood on her forehead. We think that she actually had ripped off a fingernail and was just, touching her head. But I mean, it was bad. In the 10 years this guy had been doing tours, he said, I've never had an injury until today. So
great job, Wiggins.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. If you're with me on a vacation, you're going to need to watch yourself.
So did she soldier on for the rest of it?
No, they had to call 911, and we're out in the middle, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
High
like,
up here. I mean, it's a road, so I guess that's helpful. We weren't like in the middle of nowhere, but it wasn't exactly.
But
like,
you're committed at this point.
We're stuck. She can't move. She literally cannot move.
Oh.
And we thankfully, we did have a little bit of a medical doctor training there, so that was helpful. But they had to bring out 2 fire trucks and an ambulance, and I mean, we sat there for an hour.
Did you ask for a discount on your trip?
I did not.
I'm so proud of you.
I did not.
Oh man!
But the trip was over, and the guy goes, "Why don't we just call it even?" So nobody paid for anything.
So you didn't get it? You didn't pay at all?
No.
Is that why you didn't ask for a discount?
Yeah, I said, "Can you pay us, maybe?" Because that was really, really unfortunate for our time.
Kenton says Wiggins is old enough to have hummingbird feeders on his back porch.
Darn right. I've noticed, I pass 40 now, and I'm like, man, those wings move fast. Love to see that in slow-mo. And I pull it up.
You
Pretty
just
neat.
get to the time where you sit on your porch and look at birds.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting close.
You can appreciate.
Birds are a little more interesting than they used to be.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
It happens.
Yeah.
I've heard.
You know, it used to be that I walk by a bird's nest and see an egg that had fallen out, and I think, ha, survival of the fittest. Now I think, poor little bird. And that, to me, is maturity. That I've achieved the level of poor little bird. I don't necessarily like watching the birds, but I don't want them to die anymore. As I did when I was younger. You know, when you're young, you just think this stuff's funny because nature's funny. And you don't mind frying an ant with a microphone, a magnifying glass. But these days, you know, I don't go outside and I don't fry ants anymore because I'm 43.
Can you make that in a short for us?
I already marked it.
It's gonna.
There's a nice clean cut there. I don't know if you noticed there was a gap.
I noticed.
There at the end.
We're going to put that just out into the YouTube space. People are going to hate you so much. You're going to get so roasted.
I used to hate animals.
People are going to be like, what's wrong with this guy?
Anymore.
Hopefully they go, we should tune into that show and hear more from this man.
We got to do something that's just over the line enough that it goes viral, but not over the line enough that it gets us canceled.
I'm not lying. Somebody just unsubscribed for the show.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah. I saw the number go down.
I would say it's in jest, but I don't want people to know that.
No, I think that that's real. I think people are leaving.
Oh, you know what? Bonnie is right. She says, Wiggins, only boys do that.
Do you have, are you going to do anything tonight? Do you have like family obligations?
I have no idea. I think my wife just remembered it's my birthday because she just texted me.
Did she say happy birthday?
Yeah.
Had you seen her yet?
No, because I got in really late last night and I slept in.
Somebody texted her and said,
It's your husband's birthday. He's talking
Is she
about
in her
it.
prep period? Is she listening?
No, she won't be listening. So I think she just went, oh yeah. She probably saw it on her planner or something.
The alert came up on her phone.
Yeah. Wow, how neat though. It had balloons that automatically generated from her text.
Mhm.
Makes me feel
You know what you should do?
seen.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should get her flowers.
Oh yeah. That'd be kind of digging the knife in a little bit though. wouldn't it?
No, bold move. I'm happy today, and I love you, and I just wanted to recognize you today.
See, I don't know if she'd take it that way.
It's a baller move. Well, it depends on how you present it. You gonna throw them at her?
No. But I think she would look at it like, oh, you're reminding me that I didn't text you. Because I don't even know if she got me anything. I really don't.
Well, maybe she can give you the flowers back.
See, I don't like flowers though.
If somebody gave you flowers, would it make you feel good?
I don't know if I had just completed a double axle, maybe. But no,
Give me them
otherwise,
flowers and a gold medal.
yeah, like if it came with something else, then yes.
I will give you flowers and $100 if you complete a double axle.
Do I have to do it on skates?
I'll give you flowers and $100 as well.
All right.
Complete.
I gotta do some risk analysis here. Like, is it worth my time to learn to skate that
just
well?
for the actual record, it is not for the show.
Oh no, it's for the 100.
Because that's
for the hundo.
That's gonna turn into an HR complaint and some workers' comp.
Well, I shouldn't have agreed to that.
You break your hip doing this and get Odyssey to pay you for the next. She told me to do it. I'm gonna get fired. You're gonna have a broken hip. You're gonna have $200.
Man, you know what? This is starting to become
And a
more
lot
interesting.
of flowers.
Because what I'm realizing is that I could actually sue. Because if I'm suing you, I'm like, nah, I don't care. I
Why?
can sue Odyssey though.
Don't be saying that. Gosh, everything
You
is
just
bad.
said it. You
Huh?
just said it.
I did
I'm just
not.
repeating what you said.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you said that was what I would do, and I'm taking it to heart. Is all I'm
I'm
doing.
saying it's gonna be an HR complaint.
Yeah, we're gonna take it to the top.
Workers' comp.
Yeah.
No double axles.
All right, I'll start with a single, work my way up. I'll jump to
You know
jump
these
to the
are
triple.
spins and not pieces of car.
No,
right?
no, trust me. If I ever say axle,
You're
you
like,
know I'm not talking about cars.
I'm gonna find two. 1, 2. There's a double. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stuart First American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and I want to make sure that you understand when you reach out to Stewie to talk about a bagel loan, you are going to get the best deal there is because no closing costs on that mortgage refinance or the new mortgage that you're going to get. That is an amazing deal, and rates are coming down. We do see them coming down drastically to the point where you can make a huge impact on that month-to-month payment that you're making on your mortgage. It starts with Stewie, though. When you start the conversation right now, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, you're going to be able to start that conversation and make sure that you get the best possible deal for that biggest bill that you have, which is your mortgage. Don't miss this opportunity. I'm a 2-time customer of the bagel loan myself, and I encourage you, from my own personal experience, to check out how he can help you on your next home purchase or on a mortgage refinance. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie. Tell him Annie said hi. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
September's the month to plan your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. And right now, mention my name, Mark Cox, and you'll get 48 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Just call Chesterfield Fence and Deck at 636-532-4054. Tell them you want your free estimate and free project design because that's what they do. They're celebrating their 56th year in business, locally owned and operated for all that time, and they are professionally trained. They have a lot of pride in what they do. You're going to love visiting their showroom. If you need inspiration, go visit them in the Chesterfield Valley. The beautiful wood and vinyl fences and decking material are unbelievable. The custom sunrooms, the screen rooms, the pergolas, the patios, they can make your dream yard become a reality. Call them at 636-532-4054 or go online anytime to chesterfieldfence.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059.
Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
AirComfortService.com. I want to make sure you understand how committed Air Comfort Service is to making sure that their customers get the best treatment there is to stay in their comfort zone. I am a multi-time customer of Air Comfort Service, and I encourage you to reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and ask them about a flash deal that they have available right now. This is not something that they traditionally do, but if you call 314-513-0091, ask them about the flash deal for a free service call. This is almost $100 worth of savings back in your pocket, and that free service call, you get to address the issues you might be facing with your AC unit. We're in that time of year where you probably know that there's something not working right with your AC or your furnace. You need to make sure that it's in good working order. You can go online to aircomfortservice.com/flash. That's aircomfortservice.com/flash and check out more information, more details on how Air Comfort Service can help you with this free service call. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. aircomfortservice.com/flash.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall weather is on its way. Time to schedule your heating system check to make sure you heat your home safely. Schedule your heating system check today at aircomfortservice.com.
On-time news. On your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show.
Bright light city gonna set my
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn, so get those stakes up higher. There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there. They're all living the devil may care, and I am just a devil with love to spare. So viva Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Have you ever been to Vegas?
I've never been.
Brad?
No, I haven't. I want to go, but I've never been.
I flew a red eye from LAX to St. Louis one time, and we had a layover in Vegas, and I was 20 years old. And so I was in the airport for like 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night.
And you can just gamble in the airports, right?
I couldn't because I wasn't legal.
Yeah.
But to be able to see the lights of Vegas in and out, it was pretty cool. It's a cheap place to go to because they suck you dry once you get there. Do you have a desire to go?
I do. We're actually talking about going there next year. I don't know if we will because some of my buddies go there often enough.
Are you guys like the Bachelor guy? The movie? What's that movie called? Not
The Hangover?
The Hangover. Yeah. Is that you guys?
Not quite. I think we're a little
maybe like hard drugs.
Maybe 5-10 years ago.
Not the hard drugs thing.
No, and not the like missing person in the trunk thing.
Used to be a group of 5s.
Yeah, actually, we did. That guy's in Japan right now. That's what we say. So yeah, the Vegas thing is very true. I would love to go there, and I'm not a gambler, and I'm not a big drinker. I'll have a drink, but I understand that everything there, including accommodations, are pretty cheap. So I've heard you can actually do a pretty cheap vacation, but you're going to spend money on shows or you're going to spend money on gambling. And that's how they're going to get you. I don't gamble. I probably would spend money on shows, though.
But are there any shows there that you'd really like to see?
Well, the Cirque du Soleil stuff I've heard is really good, but I never know what the show, they change it every season, so I never know what it is. They did a Beatles one that I really wanted to see. It was all Beatles music, and the CD is awesome. But I've never seen Cirque du Soleil or Blue Man Group, for that matter. I've never seen some of the famous shows, and I would like to see some of them.
You can see Cirque at Disney.
Can you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it the same, or is it like a mild version?
I've never seen it. It's like a separate ticket, obviously, but
so it's like a legit show.
Yeah. I feel like I would enjoy being able to experience Vegas and take it in. I'd like to play poker there just for the sake of doing it, but I really enjoy playing Texas Hold'em. I've never played with people I don't know. Never played in a tournament. I would enjoy that though.
I would like to try blackjack anywhere really and try counting cards, but I know that I would just count out loud.
1,
2. That's an ace. Note that. I don't think I'd be very good at it because they would notice. I think you're supposed to keep that to yourself.
I'm not saying this in a intentionally judgmental way. It's just from knowing you for as long as I have and as well as I do.
This is going to be totally accurate.
You have got to be the worst poker player on the planet.
Oh yeah, okay. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So if I
Your
were
hearts,
yeah, if
You're
I were,
I'm just going to put these 4 cards right here on my sleeve.
If I were doing something that I thought might be looked down upon, not just illegal or that the casino didn't want, but I thought was socially unacceptable, I would probably be in the sweats. At a casino, especially, because I've seen those movies.
I'm
They
just
deal
talking.
with you
I'm just
harshly.
talking about sitting down. I'm not talking about the way you behave and like potential cheating. That's bad. I'm talking about sitting down and getting a really good hand and being able to play it and win it, or getting a potentially really good hand and playing it out whether or not you hit or not.
Yeah, I would. If I had a good hand, I'd be like, "Oh, that's a bad hand."
Elbowing your neighbor, like, you want to see these cards?
4 aces is a bad hand, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. Last night, yesterday was my husband and my 17th anniversary, and we actually went to a movie and to dinner by ourselves.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I was like, what would be romantic? Let's go see Beetlejuice. No, we decided to see Am I Racist?
Oh, really? Was it in theaters?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know
It was
that.
fantastic. I cannot encourage you more to go see this movie and to experience this. I feel like I want to go back and see it again. And I want to like rent a theater out, and I want it to be an Annie Fry Show theater.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I would be down with that for sure.
I was laughing so hard, and the people I'm trying to think of movies that I've gone to see where I have belly laughed, and I don't know, like, it was so incredibly funny to watch Matt Walsh. This is the premise of this. Matt Walsh decides to go on a journey to explore his white supremacy, his inner racist, essentially. And so he goes to all of the different people who are big in DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And he goes to the author of White Fragility, which is like a huge book in the midst of this movement. And, you know, I don't want to divulge so much that you don't need to go see the movie, because the first thing I'm going to say is it is 100% worth your money to go see. You will be entertained. There are things that you could go pay to see or pay to do that are like supporting the cause. And what you get out of it is like the cherry on top, because you.
His latest is Am I
feel good. Sorry, I don't know why Cuomo got so excited there. Because you feel good about participating in the movement. This movie is so hilariously on point. And Matt Walsh is 100% Matt Walsh the entire time. He actually goes through the certification to get like an online DEI certification.
Oh my gosh.
So he carries a card around with him, and then he starts educating people.
Is this a thing? Like the DEI card is a thing?
You remember the movie Borat?
Yeah.
He does this. Where Borat, what's his name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
He made a character that was like a high level. Was he a king or a prince or something like that?
Okay, yeah. Yes.
But then he went into places as Borat.
Yes, from Kazakhstan.
And interacts with people as this character, and they film it, and they made a movie out of it. Matt Walsh does this with DEI people. Their Twitter accounts are all locked down now because it released this weekend. Yeah. And I mean, I'm just saying, get online right now. Go find your theater and buy tickets and make time to go see this movie. Matt Walsh was on with Chris Cuomo?
Chris Cuomo.
I always forget which one it is.
His latest is Am I Racist? It premieres today in more than 1,500 theaters nationwide. This is a big deal, okay? That is a big release for something like this, maybe the biggest that I can remember. Walsh is seeking to take what he calls an uncritical journey into anti-racism and diversity, equity, and inclusion training to see where it might lead. He begins the film without a disguise and attends a support group for white people who are grieving the fact that they were born white. Take a look.
I just was here on this journey that I'm just starting, but I see that I'm not wanted.
If you were on your journey, then you would have told us who you were, your real name, but you didn't.
Are you saying I needed a better disguise? Is that what you?
I don't know, maybe, but you can figure that out as you walk out the door.
Maybe.
Yeah.
My mere presence in the room caused them pain. I'll never be accepted if I look like this. If they know that I'm Matt Walsh, I'll always be an outsider. I need to go deeper undercover.
He's just looking in the
whole
mirror.
New identity. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
All right. Walsh then decides to go undercover.
So Chris Cuomo has him on to talk about this, and there's going to be a lot of media coverage about this, and whether or not this does well in the theaters, well, you know more about this than I do, probably, definitely, that it needs to do well, and if it does well, it'll get more time in the theater, and if it continues to do well, it'll get more. It's money. It's all about money.
Oh yeah,
and that's the crux of this. When Matt Walsh sits down as this, how would you describe him, Ryan? When he goes undercover, what does he do to visually qualify as a DEI expert?
Putting on just sort of some hipster clothes, which is
skinny jeans that are lapped up.
Yeah,
a tweed jacket.
Yes. Aside from that, which really just makes him look a little bit more modern.
I still think he looks nice. It doesn't look bad.
I mean, it's done in a way that's like these fast zooms into each thing he's doing, which is really funny. He just looks like the same guy wearing a ponytail wig. Like there's really nothing else.
A low man bun that's starting to kind of like tussle out across and face frame his massively bearded face.
What shocks me, and even before I had seen this, and because I'd seen some stuff about it too, what shocks me is that it almost is the Clark Kent thing where you go, how do you not know that that's Superman?
Well, that's a key aspect of all of this. How do people, I mean, Matt Walsh, everybody listening, 90% of the people listening right now know something of Matt Walsh. If I said Matt Walsh, they might be like, I've heard that name before. If they saw Matt Walsh's face, they might say, well, I've seen that face before. Maybe you don't know the two, but you know something about Matt Walsh.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on this wig and just goes around in a nice outfit and is like, I'm a DEI expert. He pulls his like laminated card out, shows it to people. and the thing of it is, throughout the course of the movie, and like I said, I'm not going to give away everything about it, all of the people who are in this industry of diversity, equity, and inclusion will sit down and talk to this sham of an interviewer in this poorly wigged Matt Walsh.
It's not even a good wig.
And he tells you how much they had to pay these people to sit down with him. Every single one of them was willing to do this at a cost. I'm going to read to you
my gosh,
Matt Walsh's Facebook post that was, I think it was from yesterday, because Robin DiAngelo is the author of White Fragility. They get her to sit down and have this interview. And it's one of the previews that is out there. The hilarious, one of the hilarious, there's so many, you will laugh so hard watching this movie. But he has a black producer. So he occasionally brings his black producer into the scene just to like be like, here's my black friend. In one of these scenes, he pays in front of Robin DiAngelo, apologizes to his producer, Ben, for like slavery, and hands him the cash out of his wallet. He's like, this is the best I can do right now. And what Robin DiAngelo does next is worth the price of admission without question. So Robin DiAngelo reacted, because these people did not know that they were in this movie.
Right.
And so this was all put together. And Robin DiAngelo released a statement this weekend that said that she felt like something was off from the beginning of their sit-down conversation. So Matt Walsh responded. Just before the film's release, Robin DiAngelo issued a lengthy statement posted to her website on Thursday. Her statement is titled, quote, about that film. Here's what she says in part, quote, back in 2023, I was contacted by a group who claimed to be making a documentary film called Shades of Justice about efforts to address racism in the United States. They plan to interview anti-racist activists, authors, and thought leaders in service of supporting the cause of racial equity. They offered me between $10,000 and $20,000 for the interview. This is her direct quote, by the way. She says, I said, let's meet in the middle with $15,000.
That's generous.
And agreed to participate. She notes, I have since donated that sum to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund.
Since then.
Side note, yes, Shades of Justice, this is back from Matt Walsh. Yes, Shades of Justice is one of the organizational names that we used. It doesn't really mean anything, but we figured it's kind of meaningless name that would resonate with the woke crowd, and it did. I will also say that I appreciate Robin's generosity in, quote, meeting in the middle with $15,000.
For what? A 30-minute interview?
She really gave us a deal, you see. It was a bargain. Only $15,000 to sit down for an interview. She continues, quote, this is from Robin DeAngelo. When I arrived for the interview, a few things felt off. The grips would not make eye contact with me, and the interviewer, who was introduced as Matt, appeared to be wearing an ill-fitting wig. End quote. So here's where Matt Walsh comes in to respond to this. Now, let's stop here again, Robin. First of all, the wig fit very well. That was a nice wig. An authentic wig made from real human hair I harvested myself from a homeless guy in exchange for a Snickers bar and a bottle of Jack Daniels. Second, more to the point, you claim that you noticed I was wearing a wig the moment you sat down, and yet you still did the interview? In your version of events, the crew was nervous and shifty, which they weren't, and I was sitting there in my ill-fitting wig, and things felt off. Yet, Robin, you still sat there and talked to me on camera for 2 hours. Whose fault is that? If what you say is true, then we can only conclude that you were willing to do anything just for the money, which is basically the whole point of the movie. Thank you for emphasizing it for us.
Wow.
Scene. That is the whole point of the movie. The movie is not making the case that racism does not exist, or that racism does exist, but it's not the people you think that are committing it. It's not really about that at all. The whole point of the movie is exposing the massive, massive ruse and grift that is the DEI movement, which is to create victims who can never become not victims, and victimizers who can never shed the fact that all they do is victimize people. And there are people who are willing to walk into a room under the weirdest, goofiest of circumstances, completely acknowledge the fact that everything is off and go, 15,000, I'm good. You want to talk about selling your soul? It's being done in this country, and Matt Walsh has exposed it in the most hilarious way possible. I intend to see it more than once. So if y'all be interested in going, maybe we can find a theater that will do a AFS showing. So funny.
Little update on how it did this weekend. Am I Racist? Number four. Well, it may have moved up since then, but just over the weekend.
Third.
It was barely 4.8 million, barely behind Deadpool and Wolverine at 5.2.
It did well. But it needs to do, I mean, and that's what I want. That's why I wanted to talk about it. We're going to work to get Matt Walsh on the show. He's been on the show before. I had dinner with him with the Vitae Foundation when I emceed an event for him and was able to pick his brain a little bit for an hour or two. And he was like sitting there. He was exactly like you would expect Matt Walsh to be, ready to get it done. I mean, like very compelling in this message as well. If you didn't know it was in theaters near you, now you do. It's Am I Racist? Get your friends together and laugh your head off. Like my husband and I went, and as we were watching it, at one point I looked over at my husband, and he had sunk down in his chair with both hands on his face and his eyebrows up as high as they could possibly be, because he was so embarrassed and amused at what Matt Walsh was able to accomplish in this movie.
I think you know what I'm going to do for my birthday.
I mean, I'm telling you what. Completely worth it, and if you do go tonight and see it, it's in Edwardsville. That's where we went to see it.
If I can get out of soccer or something, I'll totally do that.
Just take the soccer team to it.
Okay, kids, a little bit of a field trip.
My 3-year-old goes, "Mommy, what movie you're seeing?" And I'm like, "Am I racist?" It's like the weirdest conversation I've ever had with Molly. All right, we got to take a break. Let's get the answers to the YouTube live chat poll when we come back. Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? Let us know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Back in a minute.
Oh, there's blackjack and poker and the roulette wheel. A fortune won and lost on every deal. All you need is a strong heart and a nerve of steel. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-armed bandits crashing. All those hopes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas, turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me
This
my
is the
very
Annie
last
Fry
dime.
Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Remember that I had a swing in time. I'm gonna give it everything I've got. Lady luck.
STS-Armory.com. Have you visited them yet in Pontoon Beach, Illinois? Either at their Pontoon Beach location or online, STS-Armory.com. If you have a renewal for a CCL that you need to take care of, STS Armory is the place to go. You need to check them out, STS-Armory.com. You can call them to schedule that appointment as well. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS. They're going to help you navigate all of those tricky situations in the state of Illinois, problems that you have on getting your FOID card or maybe getting a renewal or some sort of identification problem that comes up. They deal with that a lot. And I'll tell you this, I can't name the names, but the big dealers out there right now that are around the area that also sell firearms, when they have somebody come in and they've got a problem with that FOID card or whatever, they tell them to go to STS Armory because people trust STS Armory. They have the firearms that you're looking for, ammunition, accessories. They have the safety and security devices that you need, and you can trust Katie and Jesse and the team there. They are the best. It's where I go shopping for my firearms and my needs and also for classes. I hope you will too. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, online at STS-Armory.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon on a Monday afternoon. We have a news conference that is supposed to get going here right about the time that I start the show on the second assassination attempt in Florida. So we'll bring that to you here this afternoon, plus a whole lot more. We get started after Fox News at 3.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Well, what do you think? Do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised? That's today's YouTube live chat poll. Let us know yes or no. A lot of comments on this topic. we'll share some of those. We have been sharing some of those, but you can still get yours in before the top of the show here. $250 at the moment. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Sing my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Broken halos that used to shine. Angels come down.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's Ryan Wiggins' birthday. You can squeeze a happy birthday in the comments here on the Annie Fry YouTube channel before we go. A lot of people wishing you a happy birthday there,
Yeah, I
Ryan.
appreciate all those people squeezing one out. Appreciate that. Go ahead, continue.
It's hard to.
Go ahead and get on the YouTube page and wish me a happy birthday, and I will remember you forever. Love you.
How old do you feel? You're 43. How old do you feel?
20 something. I actually feel like I have more experience than I did at 20. So
Do
in
you?
that sense, yeah.
I was just say, I think that's a reality.
So in that sense, I do. But yeah, it's funny. I've heard people say it for years that you just wake up and something hurts, and you're like, I don't feel any different, but why is my body not reacting the same way? I'm kind of at that point where you just sort of have things happen. You're like, oh, I guess I'm older than I
tweak
feel,
that, and that's just going to be a thing
and that's
now.
just the way it is. A lot of the stuff we were doing this weekend on our guys trip was based in that reality now, that we're all stuff that we would have done together 10 years ago. We just can't do.
Pre-game with some ibuprofen?
Yeah, we just carried it in the car. Like, oh, we're going segwaying. You know what we
Instead
did?
of hiking.
Hey, that's a fact. We did not go hiking, but I was like, yeah, we can ride around on something now. And then that lady gets hurt real bad. So, oh boy. But we did something this weekend it was the only really physical thing we did. It was called an immersive game box. And you go into a room that's probably about half the size of our studio. It's not very big. And all the walls are projector screens. And we did Squid Game, which is a Netflix show. And you have to do these like survival things in this game box. It was really fun. That was the most physical thing we did all weekend. And afterwards, we're going, well, it's the air is so much thinner up here. It's not
sure.
us, you know?
Yeah, you're winded. You're 43. I think there's a difference. I'm 40, and I feel like my mental age and my physical age don't match as much as they used to. I mean, I'm still really active. I don't have a sedentary life at all, but the activity that I do is not always dictated by me. So, sports practices, coaching, and being in a gym for 2 hours a day, sometimes longer than that, and being physically moving is not the same as like being able to go lift weights every day or go play a sport for myself every day. That's one thing that I wish I could figure out better is how to prioritize physical activity for me in the schedule of a full-time job, raising children, and really prioritizing everything else before me. But I really think that at our age, I've heard people say this at least, that how you take care of your health and your body right now really pays dividends for when you're in your 50s and in your 60s and your 70s. And it's just so difficult because there's no time. You're so tired from running around all over the place. It just becomes a big challenge. Brad, you're in the same age range here. How old do you feel?
I feel like I'm like 32. Like in my brain, that's what my brain says you are. And then I go and I'll play sports or I'll go to the gym. And if I do a particular hard workout session, then I'm reminded that I am 41. The aches and pains are there just a little bit longer. You can't go as hard as you used to, and it's that sort of thing. And man, to your point about like working in, like going to the gym and taking care of your body before, now, I don't know how you can do it. I can't do it, and I don't have kids. It's just things are pulling you 6 ways from Sunday, and it's so hard to prioritize that.
I struggle between the understanding that sleep, if you're doing all these other things but you're not sleeping well, you have to sleep well. And I've really tried to focus, especially leading into the Blue Angels, on my nutrition, 100 grams of protein, working on making sure I get enough fiber,
and sleeping in water and then workouts whenever I can. And it was going really well until the kids got back in school. And then my schedule just goes absolutely nuts. And I am at the mercy of it. And I can just see somebody criticizing me saying, well, you're only at the mercy of it if you let yourself be at the mercy of it. And then I feel like I should do better. And then I feel like a failure. It's difficult. It's a
nice
challenge.
Cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
Always ends in failure.
Well, you just got to keep trying. Speaking of failure, do you believe that the Secret Service is compromised?
I don't.
You don't. Brad?
I was a yes.
I am a no.
Me too.
Yeah. 338 votes today. Thank you for everybody who participated. 84% of you say yes.
Wow.
Which is a resounding yes. I'm actually pretty surprised that it is that big of a number. Don't go away, Mark Reardon, and all of the latest news next.
I'm not America's sweetheart. Don't be
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
If you're looking to buy or sell in Illinois, the RE/MAX Alliance's Jen Teskey is ready for your phone call. I want you to understand how Jen Teskey is very, very squarely experienced in this arena, especially when it comes to Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, and Collinsville. She and her team understand how to do things. They understand that the little ebbs and flows in the market can drastically make a difference on what you can list a house for, what you should offer for a home. They're on the cutting edge, and they have tons of years of experience collectively working and making sure that you have the best experience possible and that you are able to have the tips and tricks you need to maximize your experience as an Illinois home buyer, as an Illinois home seller. Reach out to them at 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. You can check them out online as well at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 5-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com.